In this guide, we're going to go through step by step on how to actually achieve your goals. Not just setting clear, intentional goals, but also having the systems to back it up and achieve them, man. Because the last thing we want is for you to set goals and then 3 months later you're already working on other goals and you're like, oh, I had set these goals. What the fuck? I didn't even achieve them. What's going on? And you're constantly frustrated. You set high ambition goals, then you don't achieve them. Then you're getting shiny object, focus on something else. And then you look at the end of the year and you ask yourself, what did I actually achieve? And you have very little to look back at. So we're gonna fix that, man. We're gonna fix that so you can achieve the best health possible and any goal you literally want. So first thing we gotta do is assess your current situation, man. And this is an actionable step-by-step guide, man. So every time we go through something, I want you to stop the video and do it. So assess your current situation. So answer me these questions right here. Did you have an active list of goals for last year? Okay. Did you write these goals and revise them often? Did you measure your progress towards them? Did you achieve any of them? And what has helped you and hindered you to make progress last year? Okay. And by asking these questions, by answering them also, you will know exactly where you're at, the mistakes you have done, and be able to progress here, man. So here are some good examples of what has helped me and what has stopped me last year from making as much progress, which you can take inspiration when doing your own analyzation. So go do that right now, okay? Read this carefully and follow through, man. Answer this, assess your current reality, and also what is your inventory right now. For example, how much money do you have? Where you're at with your physique, with your skin? What issues do you have? What problems are you going through? What family members can help you? What are the ones holding you back? What's the food situation you're at? Like, assess your inventory, everything that can help you. You have this computer, you have your phone, you have this spring water close to your house. You have assess your current life situation so you know exactly what resources you have to then progress. Okay, what is your inventory? Where you're at? That's the first thing. So assess your current situation, man. That's the first thing. So now that you have assessed your current situation, let's actually set clear goals to achieve them, man. So I want you to go. This is a good number, man. 3 hours. 3 hours of uninterrupted time to get your goals for the year. Okay, this is for the year. Maybe it's 1 month till the end of the year. Still, doesn't matter. Set goals for the end of the year, bro. Because it's just to have a good timeline, okay, and not be vague. That's the goal here. And a really good tactic is every time you go on a trip, let's say on a plane trip, and it's like 6 hours, 7 hours. That's when you do this. That's when you set the clear goals for the year. You analyze everything. That's the best time, man. When you're on a big trip. And so give yourself 3 hours of uninterrupted work, uninterrupted time to set your goals for the year. And what you're going to do is, if you have the one-on-one dashboard, you go on the goal setting page. And if you don't, you just pick a piece of paper and you do this, okay? And you have the 4 pillars. You have the physical or slash mental, you have the social slash wealth, you have the spiritual, and you have the wealth. And you just dump all the goals you want to achieve for the year. Just any goals you want, man, just put it out here. No limitations, just all the goals you want. And for example, me, in terms of like physical, get full crystal clear skin and scar removal, semen retention, master that, handstand push up, 80 kg lean physique. Clear goals right here. Then we have the social love. So take my family on a trip to this country to visit my uncle. And it's very specific, the goals, you see? Very specific. I am saying in the summer, this specific month, I'm going to take my family to this country, to this specific house. It's very specific, the house, man. I know already where it is. It is my uncle house. I need around $5,000 for all the tickets for my family, and I just gotta pay that, and then we go. That's as simple as that. It's very specific, man. It's impossible for me to fail here because it's specific. And then we have also spiritual, like read the Bible every day, read one book a week, which is like every beginning of the week I calculate how many pages I have to read for a book a week. And then wealth, business and financial goals. And you must be specific in all these goals. Okay, so after you brain dump all of this, you must be specific. You review them and be specific. My bad. So, as I said, you gotta have a clear time, a clear date, and a clear specific goal. Most people they just say, "Oh, bro, I want to lose weight or I want to clear skin." What the fuck is that, man? What the fuck is that? That's not a specific goal. It's some not tangible stuff. That's just vague as hell. Losing weight can be totally different for you, and for that person, and for that person. What the fuck do you want? Do you want six packs? A six pack that has veins popping out of the shirt, man? Do you want to just lose 5 pounds? But what is even losing 5 pounds? That's not real too. So what do you want here? Because losing 5 pounds isn't something tangible. You want bigger biceps. You want less body fat on your chin. That's something real. That's actually real. It's not vague, man. And that's what you need to do. And then always behind these goals, you need to have a strong why. Why do you want these results? The deeper the why, the deeper your motivation on a day-to-day to work towards them. If you keep falling back into snacking, not taking the right action, not investing in the right, mentor coaching to get the results, then it really shows you don't want it, man. You don't want it as bad as you want it. Because when you want it as bad as you want to breathe, why do you want to breathe? To survive. It's like, I want to breathe to survive. So if somebody stops you from breathing, he's trying to drown you, you're going to do everything. You're going to literally kill somebody in order to breathe because you have that strong why of wanting to breathe. So if you want to achieve something as bad as you want to breathe, you will do anything it takes to achieve it. So the reason you haven't been doing anything it takes is because you don't want it as bad as you want it, man. You don't want it, bro. That's the truth. Okay, so now that you have your specific clear goals, man, for each section, we actually need to go even more in depth, man, even more in depth. And so for the next 1 hour, what I want you to do is to, for example, you come over here on the same page you were at, and let's say you're on the physical side, okay? Let's say on the physical side you have 10 goals, okay? You have 10 goals, or not just necessarily on the physical side, on every side, okay? You have on the physical, you have the wealth, you have the spiritual, you have all these goals, man, all these goals. So, for example, you want to reach 10K per month, you want to get clear skin, you want to build an 80 kg physique, you want to reach 100K followers, you want to have a better relationship with your family, take them on their trip. And so just like that, so many goals, man. Now, what's the number one key about achieving goals? Is to niche down, is to have one specific goal. If you're trying to achieve too many things, you won't be able to, man. That's what you need to do. You need to focus on one clear goal, bro. One clear goal. So out of all these goals you wrote, out of all these goals right here, which is your top priority? So let's say we started the year. Okay, let's split the year by 3 months in 3 months. So for the next 3 months, let's say it's January. What is your top priority? Is it physical, mentally? Is it social? Is it spiritual? Or is it wealth? Which of these pillars is more important to you? And now that you have that set up, you then set even more specific. What is the one goal? The one goal you want to achieve? And perhaps it's going to be, let's say, clear skin. And so, man, what you have to do for these next 3 months is even cross this out, cross this out, cross this out, cross this out, and just focus on this one. Just focus on this one. And I'm telling you right here, if you do this, you will freaking achieve it. You will achieve it. Because the biggest problem people have is trying to balance everything, trying to achieve everything. If you just focus for the next 3 months, you achieve clear skin. Now that is out of your way, you actually know how to be healthy, how to have a healthy mitochondria. You can focus on building muscle. Okay, 80 kg physique, let's do it. If you're trying to do both, get clear skin, 80 kg physique, you randomly bulk up, have a cheat meal, eat a ton of calories and mess up your gut health and then you get acne, it won't happen. But if you just get one goal, then you get to this one, bam, you are able to achieve both goals in 6 months. When if you're trying to achieve all of them at once, it's gonna take you literally 2 years, man. And you're gonna achieve mediocre results. You're gonna have fun in both of them. That's why it takes you so much longer. So that's what you need to do, man. You write all your goals, write all your goals, write all your goals, and you cross them out until you just have one specific goal. And you're in this phase of your life, okay? Let's say this initial 3 months, this is gonna be for clear skin. Then the next 3 months, this is gonna be for the 80 kg physique. Then for the next 3 months, it's gonna be for going viral, and because you already have the transformation, going viral on social media and reaching 10K followers. And then now that you have the followers, you sell coaching, you sell a product, and you make 10K per month. Do you see how it is, man? In 1 year, okay, this is 1 year right here, you achieved clear skin, 80 kg physique, 10K followers, 10K per month. Just like that, man. In 1 year, you achieved all these big goals. You actually have something to look back at. Oh my god, I achieved this. Instead of like you tried balancing all of them, and for the entire year you got half-fast results. Oh, I got a bit of clear skin, like less breakouts, but I'm still at like 78 kg, and then I made like 2K, and then I got 1K followers. Like, bro, what the fuck? Because you're trying to balance everything, man. So that's what you need to do. You need to set clear phase. Are you in a phase of social life? The goal is to like improve your social skills as much, or going out. Maybe your physique even goes down a bit because your physique goes up because you're being social at the gym. Okay, you're not being degenerate. So sometimes these goals can be together. Okay, it doesn't have to be one has to go down. They can still sometimes go both up. Okay, so that's a good thing. If your main priority, your main goal is let's say financial one. Okay, you gotta make 10K a month to leave your house, or you have to pay the bills, of course. That doesn't mean that you can't achieve a good health. No, you can have both because they go hand in hand. If your health goes up, you make more money. But we are talking about specific goals, okay? Because this is our main focus is mental resources. That's the main focus here. If you set two goals in two areas, you're putting a lot of mental resources spread it out, and that takes away your strength, your mental clarity to then achieve the goal. It's like even the fact of like going to school or going to a job which you hate, which you do not like. And you don't have goals in there. You're just going there like 4 hours a day, or 3 or 8. Just the fact of you going there, it's taking you mental resources, and then it drains your energy, and you can't operate correctly to achieve your main goal. And so we are talking about goals here, not necessarily progress, because you can achieve progress in many areas. If you achieve progress in your health, your business will also go up. That's just how it goes. But in terms of main goal, like I'm gonna strive for this thing, you should have one big goal, and that's it. One big goal, man. And as we have mentioned, you end up achieving more this way. And so after you have done this, after you have, you know, did a mental brainstorm of all your goals, after you have went super deep and specific on all of them, and with intention, you went deep on all of them, and you just did that selection of like your top priority goal. What area in your life you're in? Are you in a social area where your main focus is just like social life, taking that to the next level? Or are you in a financial life area? Or are you in a, health, more area? Which area are you in? Okay, you should decide it. And then you have your top priority goal. So as you have that, you then come over here on the Notion dashboard, the three main goals for March. Okay, so the three main goals for this month. According to your top priority goal, which is probably going to be in a 3 month or 6 month goal, like achieve a six pack, like tangible, okay, real goal, like a six pack, or let's say 5 kg of muscle on the arms, or full crystal clear skin. Then you gotta set clear goals for the month. We break things down. So for example, March, if your goal is 10K followers, then, goal of March is 2,000 followers. And eventually the next month is like 5,000, and then 10,000. It's as simple as that. In 3 months, you reach your goal. So you gotta set goals for the month, man. And with clear skin, it's gonna be like get rid of breakouts. That's the goal. Then we have weekly goals. Weekly goals to then achieve the monthly goal. And then the weekly goals, we have the day-to-day goals, which is simply follow this routine and follow the non-negotiables right here. And just like that, man, you follow the routine, the non-negotiables, you then achieve your weekly goal. You achieve your weekly goal, you then achieve the month goal. You achieve your month goal, you then achieve your overall goal that you set it up for the 3 months or 6 months, and then you achieve all your yearly goals, man. That's what you gotta do. You gotta break it down. And on our one-on-one call, we do this together, okay? And so here I have, for example, for my business in terms of like content creation, I have, what I have to do on a day-to-day, and the metrics I track. I have to get certain amount of DMs, certain amount of booked calls per day. I have those goals, and it's simply a math game. If I achieve these goals, I didn't achieve the result. And it's also, you can calculate the percentages, and know your average, and then try to increase it by improving your skills. When you have data, it's easy. Then I have learning lists. So the books I gotta read. Like, okay, this week I'm gonna be reading this right here. Or this course module, the program I got. And just like that, I am on track. Skills, ideas. When you have this clear system, and it's impossible to fail. And this is what I do. This is what I do right here to make sure I achieve all my goals. Okay. And then the tracking. Okay. On a day to day, you track your habits, like bedtime, or eating clean for a clear skin, supplements, journal and Bible, Wim Hof. You do all the. I don't do Wim Hof anymore, and you'll understand why in the breathing guides. Okay. But this was like a older routine. And just like that, you track everything, you track every metric, and then on a weekly basis, every Sunday, you have the data. You know what you missed, why did you miss, did I achieve my weekly goal, didn't I, what happened? You have the monthly review right here that you can review each month, man. And every Sunday I review the week. That's also something I do, and then I analyze on the mistakes, and then I improve. Okay, next week we're gonna make these changes right there. And you gotta play this game right here, man. It's simply a math game, and you treat yourself kind of like an employee of your own life, your own business, where you just have to track the data, you have to follow the data, and we achieve a certain result. It's like an employee of a job. The boss tells them, oh, do these certain actions, you got to get these certain metrics, because the boss knows, okay, by getting 1,000 messages or 1,000 calls, we'll get 10 clients, and 10 clients is like 10K. It's that simple. And it's the same thing with any goal with clear skin. You just got to eat 2, 3 meals a day, avoiding insulin spikes, eating according to your environment. Bam, you get clear skin. It's not complicated, man. But you gotta have the intention, and it starts with the dumping, and then having one clear goal, which you write on a big paper. You're the top goal of this season you're in, and you hang it on your wall. You hang it on your door. So you always remind yourself of it, okay? So go take action, go do that, man. First of all, after you've done all that, now we can move on. So pause the video and go make sure you have your top one goal for the next season. And you have a clear deadline too, a realistic deadline, okay? Make sure you have a realistic deadline. Because what we tend to do, people like me and you with high ambition, is we put crazy ambition in our short-term goals. Like, I'm gonna achieve free skin in 1 month, bro. What the fuck? Let's fucking do this. I'm gonna achieve 10K per month. Let's go. And you dream of the freaking dream life. All that right now, I need to achieve it. And then bam, the month goes by. You don't achieve it. You feel frustrated, and it leads to downward spiral. And then in the long term, as I mentioned before, we are able to achieve so much more. So set realistic short-term goals and long-term think like crazy. Believe you can achieve anything. You can be a billionaire. You can make anything in the world possible. End acne forever. Save thousands of homeless men. You can do anything. In the long term, you can. But in the short term, be realistic. And step by step, you will get there. And so after you have your goals, make sure that they aren't comfortable, make sure they aren't vague, they are specific, they describe your ideal and perfect outcome underneath your goals. Like, what's your why? You know, why do you want clear skin? Okay, I want clear skin to enter a room feeling confident. Okay, that's then your big goal, like the way you want to be. And you gotta operate as the person which already got the result. And then make sure you have all the habits that it takes to get there. Of course, as I mentioned, like breaking down everything, and that's the way everything it takes, man. Literally everything it takes in order to achieve your goal is literally this: is you bring them the four pillars. Bam, you have your top goal, your top season you're in, and then you set goals for the month, three main goals for the month in terms of that goal, then weekly goal, and then the daily non-negotiables, the daily habits, tracking everything on a day-to-day. Then every Sunday you analyze the week, you make sure next week is even better. You set new weekly goals. Then each month you achieve the result. If you didn't, you analyze, you improve. And now what you're gonna do after you literally know everything, you have everything set up, is you go on your home screen and you set some good wallpapers for inspiration. Okay, so this is called the 1000 view board. So where you set, your dreams on the wallpaper. So for example, I have this beautiful family right here. One day I dream of waking up with this view right here, man. A good house that has a farm, quality food. Having the wife on my side while driving. This is dream life, man. And by me, having this wallpaper, I remind myself of my goals, where I'm trying to get to. And this way I don't have shiny object. No, I'm gonna go to Thailand. I'm gonna go to Bali. This is the goal. Bali right here, man. And then quotes like the things you won't end up owning you, so you don't forget your bigger mission. Just like that, this is how you do it. You set the wallpapers, and this is something in your definition. So if you don't know, you just come over here. You then set the wallpaper, I think. Yes, right here. And then you select an album that has the wallpaper. So you set like a file with wallpaper. You put all the images you want into this file. You select the file here, and then you have all the image running here. And this is inspirational. It motivates you to get up and go to your PC to get work done. And you don't forget where you're trying to get to, okay? But be specific, man. The reason you aren't achieving your goals is because you are not specific. You don't have one clear goal to focus on, one clear goal, man. You're trying to achieve too much at once. Be realistic, think big as hell, and you're gonna make it, man. You're gonna make it. And of course, this is very personalized help, like to each other, to each person, to each situation you're in. So if you want, we can text me on WhatsApp, book a one-on-one call, and we'll do a call together. Making everything specific for you, setting up everything in your Notion one-on-one dashboard, so you have every single metric tracked. And of course, I will keep you accountable to it every single day. We will go on our weekly calls and analyze everything. Those Sunday reviews, you do it with me one-on-one, and also monthly reviews. We also do it to make sure you achieve all your goals. So just like that, this is how you achieve your goals, man. Go take action. Go set it all up. Go put the vision board. Don't fantasize too much about the goal, man. That's not the purpose. Is to live in the right now. Focus on your day-to-day actions, but just have a clear direction to go for. That's why we set the wallpaper, the goals. It's a clear direction, so we don't forget, and we have a filter. Okay, is this good or bad? Depends on your goal. Does this move me forward closer to my goal? Yes, then yeah, I should do it. If it doesn't, then yeah, I shouldn't. Even going out to this restaurant, which can be healthy with friends, or is this good? Yes, it is. But if your main goal isn't like social life as of right now, you're in a monk mode season where you're fully focused on your work, fully focused on your health, gotta go to bed early, then it can be a distraction, even the fact of going out with your family. And sometimes it can also help you out to, if you're like fully stressed out, like, and it's uncomfortable to even stop working, then yes, that's when you should do it, man. So just like that, book a one on call to set this up more specifically and go take action, man. Let's freaking go. This one is pretty damn simple but effective. We're gonna go over the beast of hate versus the beast of love. This right here is the goddamn list that will give you that fire every day, that drive to conquer, man. To conquer any goal you have, whether it's clear skin, high energy, and aesthetic physique, or with your business or day-to-day life, just having that drive, this is what will get you there. So those days where you wake up in the morning and you pick your phone and you just start checking messages on WhatsApp, you end up even scrolling a bit, And just like that, the day was ruined. Like you just start doing random crap. Like you open the fridge. Oh, what food should I do? And then you start snacking. You just have that low motivation, right? Well, it all started there in the morning, man. It all started with the first action you did, which was pick up your phone like a zombie, man. So instead, we're gonna replace that habit with reading the list of love versus the list of hate, because this will get you fired up like goddamn doing drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because this is life changing. So we have the list of love right here. You're gonna write all the things, and you can do this on paper if you prefer. I personally have it in my one-on-one dashboard. If you're my one-on-one client, you have this set up for you. You just have to go there and fill it up. So as you're watching this, open the Notion dashboard and fill it up. Okay. So go there and fill this up. Okay. You want to write the list of love, which will essentially be life will be better once I prove them wrong. So essentially, we're gonna my bad, this is wrong. Okay, life will be better once I prove them right. This is what it meant. Right, man. The beast of love is to prove them right. The beast of hate is to prove them wrong, man. So just like that, me personally, in order for me to reach a financial goal, my list of love is saving my grandpa, which is in really bad conditions. And if I become successful, if I achieve this financial goal, I will be able to travel with him to a country he used to live, to France, which he was I used to live there, man. So just like that, me reading this, I get reminded of that freaking big goal of having to save my grandpa, man. I'm not gonna fucking fuck up and start doing bad habits after I read this, man. I'm really not. And then on the other side, I have the beast of hate, which is if I don't succeed, they will write about me. So right here, I have so much, so much, so much, where people who doubted me, people I used to call friends who insulted me, who started calling me names, making fun of me for posting online, for example, or for having acne, like people judging me and oh acne boy, you know. So I write that all over here, man. I write that here, and every single day, man. Every single day I read this, and that gives me all the fuel to win. That gives me all the fuel. And if you go study any successful person, everybody did this, man. Go look at David Goggins. If you've read David Goggins' book, You Can't Hurt Me, you know he had the cookie jar. A cookie jar is this metaphor where he pulls out the cookies. Oh, I want a cookie. And the cookie was achievements he had achieved in the past. As he's running a marathon, he's really tired. Oh my god, I want to quit. He thinks back to a memory he won. Oh, I want this other race. I can do this too, man. I can win this. Just like that, he's pulling out the cookie jars. He's going into the beast of love. I got, man, my old self, he was able to do this. I can do this too. Or he was recording messages of haters. Like if somebody wrote a hate comment on him, he would record that. And while he was running, he would play those recordings. Or Kobe Bryant, for example, he also used a lot of the hate, man. Or Mike Tyson, everybody that has achieved greatness and crazy amounts of success has had a bit of craziness in their mind where they're like, I'm going to prove you all wrong, motherfuckers. I'm going to prove you all wrong. And it's not necessarily you do things in a place of, seeking validation. No, it's just the fire in there to motivate you in those days where you don't feel like doing it, okay? So write this down right now, man. Go take action. Go write, if you prefer, on a paper, and you read this every day, man. If you prefer on the Notion dashboard, which you can also read every day, they can also work, man. But the key here is consistency. It's for you to write it out and read it every day, man. Go take action right now. Go do it. The beast of love and the beast of hate. Beast of love, life will be better once I prove them right. Beast of hate, if I don't succeed, they were right about me. Let's go. Let's go over the mirror shatter technique. So let's say there is a mirror in front of you, okay? And what does a mirror do? It reflects who you are. It shows vividly who you are, your image. But just like that, you probably don't really like too much of yourself. Yes, you like yourself, but there are certain things about yourself which you do not like. Maybe it's waking up late. Maybe it's snacking. Maybe it's falling back into junk food, into porn. Whatever it is, there's something in that mirror which you do not like. And perhaps it even reflects on your physical health. Because your physical health, your skin, your body, it's just a reflection of your habits, man. So perhaps you look in the mirror and you don't even like yourself. So what are you going to do? If you do not like that person in the mirror, what you're gonna do? You break the goddamn mirror. You punch the mirror and you break it. And just like that, that's what we're gonna do with the mirror shatter technique. We're gonna break that person on the other side. We're gonna get rid of all the bad characteristics of yourself which you do not like and turn them into a perfect version, like a good mirror which you're proud of looking at. That's the goal with the mirror shatter technique. And so, essentially, with the mirror shatter, we have the villain right here, the villain man. And just like that, the villain, these right here are all the characteristics which you do not like about yourself. For example, snoozing like a bitch and listening to the voice that says, "Just 5 more minutes to meditate. I'm gonna meditate a bit. I can wake up." I told myself in 5 minutes I can wake up, man. I need to finish this dream that I was having. All cope, man. All nonsense which your brain tells you. Or starting a task and not finishing it, or taking your phone to the bathroom and watching reels, or going to bed later than 9 p.m., which you said you were gonna go to bed, or getting frustrated when you don't have time and you're busy about family trips, whatever, when you don't even have much control over it, and you just gotta focus on what you have control. And then you get home and you have time, but you waste it and slack off. So you were frustrated for no reason because once you got home, you had time, but you still messed up. And so just like that, you write so many characteristics of the person you do not like, that person in the mirror, which you want to break. There is the villain right there. It's not it's not you, man. It's not you, that person. It's a villain. And so we're gonna differentiate the person which you do not want to be and the person who you are. That's it. There are two types of people inside of you. The person who isn't you, it's the villain, it's the damn Guy, we can say it. For example, me, it's the damn Guy. Perhaps it's, depending on your name, of course, it's damn you. And then you have you, which is you, is who you are. And I wouldn't even say the damn me, because they can be like just the fact of saying that it's associating yourself with that person. So you just say, no, it's the villain. It's not me, it's the villain. So every time you get a thought of going to bed late, oh, let me just work a bit more at night. That's not you, man. That's the villain speaking. It's the villain. No, no, no. What would the Guy do? What would I do? The hero. That's the hero right there. What would he do? He would go to bed at 9 p.m. because that's what he said. And so just like that, you write all the characteristics of the villain, which is basically who you do not like, man. As you can see, I have a lot of them written here. And this is in Portuguese, by the way. If you want to, do not go translate it because I'm a bit insecure about it. It's a bit vulnerable, I guess. I'm joking, man. That's why I'm sharing it right here. I'm not insecure about it because this is not me. This is not me. This is the villain right here. And if you want to translate it, just so you can understand like my own flaws, so you can get your own perspective. Maybe you have your similar flaws, but you don't even remember them. So by you translating this to English, it's in Portuguese, you can get ideas for your own mirror shadow. So just like that, write down your villain, man. Write down your villain, and perhaps it's so many things, so many things. So I recommend you work on three at once. And once those three are removed, you can then add new three. That's how you do it, man. Just do three at a time, maybe even one at a time, man. Maybe three at a time it's too much. Just do one at a time. And essentially, I talk more this in depth in other modules, but a really good way you can do this is by writing on your journal every morning. You write down on your journal the mirror shatter. Okay, so you basically write snoozing like a bitch and listening to the voice will keep me from achieving certain amount of goal, or will prove the list of hate right, for example. And just like that, you have that fire to not do any of this, and you write it so much that it just becomes so vivid in your mind to not do it, and you're like, what the fuck, this isn't me, man. Lying or gossiping or laying in bed or scrolling, what the fuck, I do not want to do this. The more vivid you become about it, the less you will do it, man. So write it out, man. Write the person in that mirror which you do not like, and break that guy, break him, man, break the mirror. The way you break the mirror is simply by dissociating yourself with this person, is by calling it a villain. It's the villain, it's not you. And then you have the hero. Now, this is the person which you are. And normally, this is going to be the exact opposite. So, for example, if you snooze like a bitch and you listen to the voice that says just 5 minutes, then your hero, which you can call a name, like your own name. For example, me, it's Abadini. I like to see myself as that way, which is like my middle name with a bit of like some changes. I don't know. My boxing coach called me this and I like it. So, I like to see myself as the hero like this. And so I wake up every day at 5 a.m. with no excuses. And even if it hurts, and when it hurts, I want to sleep, but I don't do that shit. I don't do this shit. I think more growth. So just like that, I focus on the growth. That's what I mean. And just like that, by reading this, I reinforce the person I'm trying to be and the person I do not want to be. And of course, we have a lot more, but focus on three at a time, man. Three at a time, or even one, because it can be too much and you keep forgetting yourself. And you might be asking, oh, but is this really healthy? Like, shouldn't I just live in the present and focus on being, like, just being myself? Like, why am I going to create an identity? This isn't good. Which I talk in a module more in depth on this, which is the more about the power of now. And yes, you should be in the now. Like, you should be living in the now at every time, and you should not be living as an identity. But this is to simply separate the bad habits from the good habits. It's not necessarily to have an identity here. And the way you're going to do the good habits and bad habits is by being in the now, yes. And by being in the now, you're able to just do the right actions without thinking of some past or the future. And the same thing is here. Like, you should be living the hero identity, the person who you are. You're already this person. Like, you're this person operating in the now. That's how it should be. You're this person in the now. And every time this crap happens, it's the mind. It's the mind thinking of some past, some future, some bullshit. So this goes hand in hand with living in the now. You are this identity. You are this person. Not necessarily that you're tied down to this, like it's who you are. No, you can always change yourself. But you're operating from this or in the now. And as you're in the now, you realize, oh, snoozing like a bitch. What the fuck? That's my mind making excuses. That's me thinking of the past because I'm associating lack of sleep with dying and not living the future or something. Nonsense. So you see where I'm coming from? This is what the mirror shadow is. Essentially, it's just writing down the person which you do not like about yourself, all the characteristics, all the traits, maybe lack of values, and right here, what you personally do on a day to day. Like when certain things happen, you change. The more specific, the better. Okay, we want to be super specific. So instead of saying, "Oh, I eat junk food," that's the villain. No, be specific. Eat junk food at 9 p.m. instead of going to bed. Be specific. The more specific, the better. just like that. And this is what you should do right now, man. Actionable step. Go write every characteristic of the villain, the person in that mirror which you do not like, and the hero. And you can do this on the Notion dashboard, you can do this on a piece of paper, or you can do this in a mirror. You can literally write in a mirror if you're okay with like writing on the mirror, or you can do on post-its. You can write on post-its, put it in the mirror, and you just look at it every morning until it's solved. Okay, until that issue which you have is solved, you don't take it off. And every time you look in the mirror, you have to see it. Once it's solved, you can take it off. And be brutally honest here. You're not manifesting bad stuff for looking at your negative traits. Quite the opposite. You're getting rid of them. You need to look at them so much that you become disgusted at them. So write down, I'm a bitch. I look like shit. My haircut is terrible. And I gotta get a better haircut. Like that's something I avoid because I'm afraid of my skin. So I avoid getting haircut. Write this shit down. It's very specific. Write it down, man. This is personalized to you. If you want a one-on-one call to go more in depth, then text me on WhatsApp and we'll link it up, man. But just like that, get the mirror shadow completed. Go take action right now, and it's pretty simple. Okay, you can take a look at what I've done. Okay, and just follow your intuition. Do what it's the right thing for you. Like it's not necessarily gonna be copy paste. Of course, it's personalized, man. Go take action. If you have access to the one-on-one dashboard, then you probably notice that under the mirror shadow, you have a letter from my future self section here. And so essentially, this is a letter that you're going to write from your future self. So imagine you have already achieved everything. Maybe it's in 5 years from now, or even when you're 8 years old, depending on your goal. Okay, if your vivid goal is in 5 years, or even like 3 months after you get clear skin, depending on the realistic timeline it takes to get there, write a letter as the person which already achieved it, okay? And write very clearly, how does your life look like? How many kids you got? What does your house look like? You thank yourself for working so hard, for waking up every morning, for sticking with the right diet, not eating any junk, not eating any honey, carbs like crazy. None of that. You thank yourself because put yourself in that position, man. Ask your future self who has achieved everything and write that letter for your current self. Write that letter right now. And this allows you to act as the version of yourself which already achieved it. And by you acting as that person which has already achieved it, you will do the actions which take to become that person. And therefore, the results just appear. Like the results just appear right here because the universe rewards the person. It's about who, not how. That's always like that. It's about who, not how, man. Remember that. It's about who, not how. It's about the person which does the right actions, therefore they get the results. That's how it works, man. And so I didn't even show mine right here because I want you to be realistic with your own situation. Like I do not want you to copy, oh, I need to see motivation. No, man, this is specific to your situation. Be Let your brain flow, let your creativity flow right here, man. Let your ambition flow, man. No limitations when writing this, okay? No limitations. You can have everything you want. Like you can have the most beautiful family, 10 kids, a big mansion. It is possible to achieve everything as long as you're willing to do the work. Never believe nothing is impossible. But of course, you gotta love the work more than the results. And so just like that, write a letter from your future self. And what I've personally done for the past years, like I've done this since I was in fifth grade, so like more than 8 years, I believe. What I've been doing is writing letters for my future self, not from my future self, but me in fifth grade writing letters for me in 10 years, let's say. And so I have letters right here, man. Literally letters where I'm talking about me getting a good grade in math and me saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be a math teacher in one day." Like this one is saying, I have 98 followers on Instagram and I got 3,600 views on a reel. This was 4 years ago. No, 3 years ago, not 4 years. But just like that, I can now see the insane progress which I've done because now I have almost 2,000 followers. And we're definitely gonna scale past it. So I gotta make a letter, gotta write a letter saying, I'm at 2,000 G, you can do this, you're gonna reach 1,000, 100,000, man, and even 1 million. Just like that, I have a box right here with a bunch of letters for my future self. And I try to predict where I'm going to be in life. I'm literally speaking to my future self like a friend. And this is beautiful, man. In a few years, I'm going to read it. It's going to be generally one of the best moments of my life. Like, I'm probably even going to cry just reading letters that I wrote 10 years ago. Like, it's going to be crazy, man. So go do it, okay? Go write a letter for your future self. It literally takes 10 minutes. And write a letter from your future self. Like, the person who has already achieved everything in the future, he wrote a letter for you, for your current self, telling you how proud you are, how proud he is of you. Yeah, you are proud because you're the same person in the future. And once again, I'll talk it more in depth in another module, but there's no such thing as like future or past. It's important to always be in the now. But in this situation, yes, there is a future. Like there will be subjectively a person that is older and is gonna have greater success. So he wrote that letter to you right here in the now of the future, you know? It's funny. And then we have the letter of the nightmare wife. So under the love versus hate list, you also saw a section of nightmare wife. Essentially, the nightmare wife is you just writing. your terrible life that you're going to have if you don't lock the hell in. And you just write right here your nightmare life, man. You just write literally everything you do not want to happen, like acne got so worse, people judge me everywhere, and you just write a realistic nightmare life. Because if things don't change, nothing changes. It's as simple as that. If nothing changes, nothing changes. If you keep doing the same bad habits, if you keep relapsing, it will only get worse, man. Not only things will stay the same, but it will get worse. Your physical health will get worse. Your looks will get worse because it's pure cause and effect. You do a bad habit, you get the consequence of it. You do a good action, a good habit, you get the consequence of it. It's as simple as that. And so the actionable steps for this module is to write the letter from your future self with the position you're in the future, like I've achieved all these great things, I'm living this on a day to day, and you describe with such detail, man, your day to day life. There is a letter from your future self. Then you write letters for your future self to have memories, and it's just gonna be beautiful, man, to one day look back and having all these memories right here, man. It's gonna be beautiful to read this. I write like 3 times a year. I haven't written one in a while, so I'm gonna do it today. And then do the nightmare life. Under the list of love and the hate, every day you read this, and then you read the nightmare life, man. If you don't lock the hell in, this is gonna be your life. You're gonna be single, you're gonna be 30 with lack of money, frustrated, anxiety every day. You have acne, still acne scars everywhere because you didn't fix the root cause. So you look ugly and you don't like the person in the mirror. You keep getting scared of entering a gym, maybe you have anxiety, whatever. Write the nightmare life. Once again, this is very personalized to you. If you want, book a one-on-one call and I can help you map out everything. And together I can ask you questions so we can always go more in depth because the more specific, the better, man. The more specific, the better. And so doing this with somebody on your side, keeping you accountable, especially like me, it's life changing, man. So go do it, go take action, whether from your future self to your current self. So such detail of his current life, then write letters for your future self, and then a nightmare life. What does your nightmare life look like in 3 months, in 3 years, in 5 years? Same thing with the letter from your future self. It can be in 3 months, 3 years, 5 years, even 10 years, 20 years. You decide depending on your goals, okay? In this module, we're going to go over the driven journaling method. This is a journaling method that I've developed on my own through trying dozens of journaling techniques, and I was never able to stick through them. I'd always start slacking, like 2 months would go by without me journaling. Then I remind myself, oh, I haven't been journaling. And then I get back onto it. And I kind of always used to think, oh, journaling is useless because I never sticked with it. I was always trying these random techniques, this, that, and none of it would work. None of it would give me that consistency. And of course, it's better to do a habit worse but consistently than to try to do everything perfect, but then you only do it once, one time. So just like that, I'm going to run you through the journaling process that I go through every single morning. Every morning, I write on my journal. Okay, this is very important. You do on a physical journal, just like this. As you can see, this journal, man, it's not some bullshit one. Like it's good. You touch it, and it feels really good, man. So invest in a good journal. Okay, spend a good $5 into this, man. Even $30 if you have the budget for it, because it will allow you to stick to it. It gives you that inspiration, man. If you've ever read, for example, Marcus Aurelius' Meditations book, that book is a journal, is his journal. So just like that, because he was an imperator, he had this journal he used to write, and now it's a book that people are reading on a day-to-day, man. And who knows, perhaps you will be this famous person which everybody will study. So invest in a good journal, man, so that somebody can study your history. Who knows? And so just like that, let's go through this, man. The reason why we journal, first of all, is because a lot of times we wake up with a weak mind. We start instantly thinking, oh man, I want to hit the snooze button, get back to bed, I need to sleep more. With this journaling, you become aligned with who you truly are. Okay, you forget all the limitations people put onto you. You are able to let it all out and just be yourself freely. Okay, no limitations. That's the goal with journaling. Journaling is not to put rules into you, man, to put yourself in a box. None of that. And if you find that my journaling technique can be like too much for you, who knows, you find some other technique that is best for you, then go for it, man. Go for it. This journaling technique is personally what has worked for me. So I gotta share it to you, and you should definitely try it, man. You should definitely try it. So this is journaling for identity and frequency alignment. And so I usually do this after my 50 push-ups. So I wake up in the morning, I do 50 push-ups, start slowly, like start with 10 push-ups, 20 push-ups, 30 push-ups. If you can't do 50, then and the goal is consistency. It's always consistent. And I go outside, I watch the sunset, the sunrise, and I hydrate. I drink water, man. This is my morning routine. And then I journal. The reason why I do this is because if I just wake up and I start the work, man, I'm gonna start slacking, I'm gonna feel fatigue, I'm even gonna start doing bad habits. I must have a process that puts my brain in a high frequency. And so that is a morning routine, of course. And this morning routine is as simple as push-ups, watching the sunrise, hydrating, and journaling. That's it, man. That's it. That's my morning routine, and then I get straight into work. I get straight into the most important task of my day. And so the goal is to set intention, tune into your highest frequency, and embody the identity that tracks your goals. because your words carry energy. They align your body, mind, and spirit to take the congruent action in the physical world. Just like that, imagine you say, like you're speaking to some friend and you say, "Ah, man, I'm so dumb. I made this mistake. I'm so dumb." You should never say that, okay? And I just said it, but I shouldn't have said it. You should never say I'm dumb or insult yourself as a joke, man. You should never say that because your brain is hearing that. Your bit will reinforcing it. Whatever you say will become a reality. And if it doesn't become a reality, then it's also a reinforcement that you are constantly lying. If you say, "Oh, I'm so dumb," but you don't believe you're genuinely dumb, then you're lying. So in future situations, when you say, "I'm going to do this task," your brain is going to say, "Oh, but you've lied many times. Why am I going to listen to you?" You need to develop a relationship with yourself as a friend. You know, when a friend is always late, when a friend is always lying, do you trust him? No. So you gotta be the same way with yourself. If you're always lying, arriving late, not doing the test which you said you were gonna do, hitting the snooze button, man, you're gonna start not trusting yourself. You're gonna feel unconfident. You're gonna feel like a loser, insecure, man. And so just like that, with this journaling process, we eliminate that. Put we put power in our words into the paper. We put them into the physical world, and now they're gonna happen. They're gonna turn it. We're gonna turn that vision into reality. Because imagine you want to make a certain amount of money. You want to get clear skin. What is easier to actually get those things, like to get clear skin, or to write on the paper, "I have clear skin"? What is easier? Is to write it. Okay, so I had a vision in my head of "I have clear skin." I wrote on the paper. It became a reality. It came into the physical world just like that. It's on the paper now. And now, since I can see it visually on the paper, it's so much easier to turn it into an actual reality. That's what we do with the journaling, man. And so just like that, you're gonna find that the days you miss your journaling are the days you fell back into bad habits. Are the days you forgot to do the right actions, that you started multitasking, doing random crap, and you got shiny objects. You tried random diets, which you know are kind of cope. That's what happens when you don't do the journaling, man. And by doing this journaling process every morning, you're gonna stick with your vision, with your goals, and act as the person who has those things. Because in order to achieve something, you need to become the person who has them. And then that person does the actions naturally, and therefore the results appear. That's how it works, man. It's like a fat person wants to be jacked. They have to see themselves as a jacked person. Okay, what would the jacked person do? He go to the gym with no issues because he loves the gym. Therefore, the fat person now sees himself as a jacked person, so he goes to the gym, and therefore he gets jacked because he's going to the gym every day. That's how it should work. You should obsess over who you have to be and not how. If you focus on the who, the how will appear, and the results will follow, man. So just like that, let's go through the prompt of the journaling technique that I use every morning. The goal is not to take 30 minutes, 50 minutes, it's to take as long as it's needed, okay? We're journaling here for intention. We're not journaling to check off the box, man. None of that. Journaling is for intention, is to set intention. So if it takes you like 50 minutes, you have something deep in your mind that you want to get into the paper, then take 50 minutes. Now, if you are just excited to get the work done and you really already have the intention behind it, perhaps just 2 minutes of journaling. It's all you need. Or even like I'm not gonna say don't do it because it's always good to have the habit and do it consistently on a day to day. Even when you don't feel like doing it, always do it. But it's gonna be dependent on the time it takes, depending on the current situation you're in. Like if it's a hype day, you feel like you need to journal a lot, then journal a lot. So just like that, I always write on top of the page the date of today, and then I write any new realization, insight, or message from God, the universe. So any recent lesson that I just learned, I always write it because oftentimes we learn the most on our day to day, not necessarily watching YouTube videos or reading a book. It's like on a day to day we learn crazy lessons, but then we don't write it down, we forget it. And 3 months later, we have the same realization, we made the same mistake, and then we're like, what the fuck? I had already learned this. Why didn't I just do the right thing now? Why am I going back to the same mistake? What the fuck, man? This is what happens when you don't write those insights. God is speaking to you on a day to day, telling you lessons, and you're ignoring them. So first thing you write is that, and then you're gonna write your 3 main goals for the month. Okay, 3 main goals, man, and these are for the month. So we have a clear deadline, which is the end of the month. It's always good to have a deadline. If you do not have a deadline, you're not going to do it. You're going to let everything to the end of it. Oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Because it's like when you have an exam, you're like, I'm going to study the day before. You always leave it to the last time. And we don't want it. So set a clear deadline, man. A realistic deadline always. Don't set it from an emotional place of, I'm broke now, 10K per month this month, and I've never made money. That doesn't work. You gotta be realistic. So, for example, right, I understand and have clear skin. I am shredded, strong, lean, and 75 kg. I have 10,000 followers. So you write your 3 goals in the current time. You do not want to say, I will have, in the future, I'm going to have, because the future isn't real. It's in the future, so you're never going to act as the person who already has it because it's always in the future, it's not in the now. In order for you to be the person which has the results, it has to be the now. So you write as if you already had it. And I won a school race, man. The first time I learned about this was when I wrote on a paper, I won the race. And in my mind, I was like, there's nothing I can do now. Like there's nothing I can do. I already won the race. If even if I don't try and I want to lose it, I will not be able to. It's craved into destiny that I will win the race because it's written on the paper, and I wrote it as if I had already won, like as if I was 1 month later after the race had been, and I was writing it down. In my head, I was already the person which had completed the race. It's 1 month later, and I'm just writing down. I won the race. It's pure truth. I won it, and there's nothing I can do because I cannot change the past. I won the race in the past, even though all of this was, of course, all of this has never happened. It was all from this feeling of energy that I was having and my own mind, man. And so just like that, you can also do vision add-ons. So you write how your day-to-day life is going to be like. So for example, if you want career scheme, then you write, I enter school and that girl looks at me and she smiles at me and says hello. Like you write vision add-ons. So, I'm able to buy my own food because you achieved your financial goal and you retire your family. Whatever it is, add visions add-ons because it's like what you prefer to watch a movie or to read a book. Most people prefer to watch a movie because it's visual, and it's the same thing here. You gotta set visual stuff, and you visualize in your mind too. Then you set an identity mantra, and here we write who must I be to attract and sustain these goals. So write your mantra. For example, I am a shredded, clear-skinned, charismatic coach, fully aligned with my masculine essence and purpose. I save men from cycles of despair and expose the truths behind the lies that keep them stuck. This is personally my own mantra, which I write every day. Not necessarily just like this. I'm not like following the script by script. No, I'm following my heart. I'm writing as I feel in the moment, from my vision, from my soul, man. That's how I do this. So you write your mantra, who you truly are, man. Who you were meant to be before they told you who to be. Hear that carefully. Who you were meant to be before they told you who to be. Who is that person? And write that mantra and read it out. Because that's the person you're going to be today. You're going to act from this. And no matter what happens, no matter the emotions you have, no matter the situations, the frustrations, you're going to act as this person. Because the truth is, maybe you're like, I want to be a millionaire, let's say. And you're like, oh, but on a day to day, I don't even have food to eat. How does this work? Well, that person that is a millionaire, how would they act in this situation? That's what you gotta ask yourself. It's not about the results, the physical world. It's more about the person, man. It's always about the who. Because that millionaire, let's say, he's gonna find a way to get back to where he was because he is that person. And then I write my non-negotiables. This is the mirror shatter. Okay, so you are gonna watch also a next module on the mirror shatter technique. And so you pick your top three identity behaviors that you'll embody no matter how you feel. And pick three from the mirror shatter. So you have three bad characteristics of yourself which you hate. So for example, waking up late and waking up at 6 a.m. when you're meant to wake up at 5, or go to bed late and mess up my circadian rhythm, or eat a lot of carbs, which I know they're not good, whatever, you write it down there. And then you write the three things, the three behaviors you'll embody no matter how you feel. Like I wake up at 5 a.m. regardless of how I feel. I focus on only impactful actions. For example, I do deep work instead of busy work, like just multitask. I am the man who commands respect, arrives on time on meetings. And you must be very specific here. Like when I'm writing this, I'm thinking of the meetings I have, my calls for the day. So I'm saying this. I will always arrive on time because that's something I struggle with. I looked at my mirror shadow. I see, oh, I'm always late. That's a hard truth I needed to hear. I'm always late. So right here, on the morning, man, I'm gonna write non-negotiables for the day. Wake up at 5 a.m. because I'm always snoring. Focus on impactful tasks because I'm multitasking on a day. And arrive on time to the meeting because I'm always late. Bam, I write the non-negotiables that I gotta follow. And then you can even write like just additional stuff, whatever is on your mind, man. For example, I stick to my word and act like a pro. I check my calendar. So checking my calendar in the morning to see if somebody booked to not be late. You gotta be as specific as possible. You want to arrive on time? Okay, what's gonna make you arrive on time? Check the calendar and see if there's any meetings. And what time is the meeting? Writing down. Okay, that's what I do, man. Non-negotiables. That's why the mirror shadow technique is for. Is to come out here every morning and break that mirror, man. Okay, then I write my main task. This is going to be the eat the frog. Essentially, the eat the frog is your most important task. If I gave you a frog to eat at dinner, would you eat the frog after you had your dinner, or would you eat before? So then you can have the dinner after, and it's like, oh, I got done with the frog. It's done, man. I can now have my dinner. You're gonna have the frog first, and so just like that, what's the one most important task that will move me forward today? So you write it down to make sure you never procrastinate and do any bullshit tasks which do not matter. Write down your most important task, the eat the frog, man. And after you finish the journaling, this is the first thing you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna do. And then list the secondary test, other important tests like going to the gym or finishing this project, other secondary tests. But this one is like the one, man. If I only could do one thing today, it would be this one. And you get it right after you finish the journaling process. And then lesson from yesterday, okay, like you probably had a lesson yesterday, you messed up on this thing, you were scared to approach this girl. What didn't align with who you want to be yesterday, What didn't align? What happened yesterday? What mistake or distraction you got yesterday you will not repeat today? And you write it down, man. You write it down. And then you write gratitude. Okay, this is gratitude journaling. You write five things you're grateful for. Just like that, five things. And it doesn't have to be crazy. Just, I'm grateful to have this pen, to have this pencil right here. I'm grateful to be making this module right now, to have this computer to be recording. I'm grateful for my parents working right now, and they've always supported me in helping me to have the best, have the best, education. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for even the fact of just breathing, man. I'm grateful for breathing every day, some fresh air. And just like that, this is going to put you on a high frequency, man. You're going to feel abundance. And therefore, you will attract more abundance. Because when you feel ungrateful, when you feel like you don't have much, you just attract more of that. And when you feel grateful, even for the small things you have, the universe will reward you for that. And so just like that, the journaling checklist is simple. Set intention for the day. Did you do that? Rewrite your goals so you never forget them and you always have clear intention on where you're going for. What's your road, essentially, so you don't start getting shiny object. Bam. Actionable steps to do today to get there. So today attack plan, like the eat the frog. Bam. What I need to remove, what's holding back, which is going to be the lesson from yesterday or can be from the last week, like a big mistake you did, which you know you cannot do it again. Bam, cross that. Even small things like, oh, I was staring at my skin in the mirror afraid. Like even small things. No, the version of yourself that is charismatic, attractive, he's not speaking his skin. So small things, lesson, bam. You always have a lesson, man. Never say you don't have it. Being grateful, yes. Just like that, this is a checklist. And then at night, and this can be even more freely, okay? What you gotta do is do some reflection. So this is in the morning. After you do this, you get right into your deep work. But that night, before you go to bed, or if you're too tired, man, set it up, okay? You need to have a clear time to do this. Otherwise, you're gonna forget or fall asleep. So before, like 1 hour before bed, while you're winding down, like you have your blue light blockers, you're reading a book, you do some journaling, okay? You just do some reflection. So analyze your data, and this can be also with business related, analyzing, for example, how many work you got, how many DMs you set it, depends on your business, of course. And analyze your data or what sets you got in the gym, depending on your goal, of course. So the actions, metrics, and the habits you did, you analyze that. Did you stick with the habits which you said you were going to do? And usually this comes from having a table action, a habit tracker. That's it, a habit tracker, which I'll share a template in the next module. And you'll have a habit tracker, man, so you can track your metrics, habits, actions at night to stay accountable. Then did you face your hard truths? Slash to the mirror share. Did you follow through what you said here? Did you follow through with the non-negotiables? And then what didn't align with who you want to be? So you don't forget. And tomorrow you have that already. You already have it written down, and you can just look at it and know exactly what needs to change. So this is what I personally do at night. Is I analyze these three things, okay? And then here are some good prompts that you can ask yourself. What did I learn today? What felt aligned and misaligned with who I am and where I'm trying to get to? What did God slash the universe show me today? And just like that, you write this down and let your mind be free, okay? Write your story of the day, the lesson, emotion that you got, and just track it out, man. Just journal it out and put it on the paper because a lot of the times we just want to speak to somebody freely about our emotions, about what we feel, but we don't have anybody, and the journal can be that person for you. And also, there are many journaling techniques which you'll learn through this program, like sleep journaling. And I do this also in the morning. I write my own dreams. So then I have vivid dreams and I can have lucid dreams and I can master lucid dreaming and I can also get insights from my own dreams. So that is another one. Or just doing it to get rid of stuck trauma, things like that. Okay, so this is a really great template that I've personally developed and I follow every day. So I don't even have to think much because a lot of the times we don't journal because we don't know what to do. So just follow through this template, man, every single morning, stick to it, and let yourself get free too, man. If you have other ideas to journal, any other emotions, like whatever is going on in your mind, you can write it down. But this is the really best template that I've developed, man, and it's life changing. Every day that I do this, my days are 100 times more productive, more effective, and I just feel really good, man. And the days I forget, they're usually bad, man. So go try it out, man. Go take action. Go do it right now, man. Go do right now. Follow through this journaling template. Get your journal, okay? Invest in a good one, or even just get one like this. If you don't have a journal right now, don't cope. Just use a piece of paper, even a notebook like this one. Just get a piece of paper and do this journaling technique right here, and try it out in the morning. Okay, put in your alarm clock. Do this journaling tomorrow, or put it in your wall. Write it down, man. Go take action. This is gonna be life changing. Okay, journaling is life changing. Asking yourself the right questions is life changing because the answers to your problems are just behind the right questions. And a lot of times you have the answer. Your subconscious has the answer. You just need to ask the right question for it to come out. So go through the journaling process, man. See you in the next.
In this module, we're going to go over one of the most life-changing information that I've ever heard. We're going to talk about the importance of values. Not just about having good values, good morals. You already know that. We're going to go so much more in depth. We're going to talk about hidden values that you have that are stopping you from being and achieving the best version of yourself. And also random frustration and anxiety that appears on a day-to-day, which is stopping you from doing the right actions. We're going to solve all of that. So let's start. We live in a society where everybody's focused on more. Being more healthy, more rich, more famous, more muscle, more productivity, always wanting more, 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 more. I need the best family possible. I need the best mansion and the best car in the world, man. And I'm sure you have great ambition and you want to achieve all these great things, which you can. But in you wanting more, it literally has the opposite effect. It makes you feel empty because you're reinforcing a feeling of a lack of something. When you want more money, you're reinforcing that you don't have enough money. Every time you search up how to make quick money, you're reinforcing to the universe that you do not have money, and therefore the universe will just show you more of that reality. The same thing with your family. If you're dreaming about the future family which will be perfect, no wonder your current family situation is just getting worse, and there's more frustrations, more discussions on a day to day, because you're literally reinforcing that your current family isn't good, I need a better one, and therefore it will manifest itself like that, man. And I'm sure you weren't aware of this, but we're gonna solve all of this, man. So, and the worst part is that it leads to a downward spiral of depression, we can say, where you have a negative experience. For example, you can't buy a certain new phone, a new computer, and it makes you feel, I'm broke, man, I don't have money, what is going on? And just like that, you start visualizing, you start dreaming of the perfect life. Or you have acne, you start dreaming of having clear skin after this negative experience. And just like that, you repressed these emotions, the emotions of the negative experience, because you didn't actually feel the negative experience. You hid it by visualizing the dream reality, by wanting more, wanting more. And this leads to a repetitive negative thinking where you constantly think you don't have enough. Oh, I need more of this. I need to be better at this. And then leads to physical stress, makes or distress where you start doing bad habits to avoid and repress those emotions that are under the carpet, which you avoided them. And just like that, leads to avoidance and unhelpful behavior, which leads to depression spirals out of control, man. So just like that, you see how it really has the opposite effect. Wanting more, 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 you had the opposite effect where you constantly feel a lack. And so how do we fix this? How do you achieve things without falling into this downward spiral? You need to understand the desire for a more positive experience is itself a negative experience. And paradoxically, the acceptance of a negative experience is itself a positive experience. So you see how this goes, kind of opposite? By you wanting a more positive experience, there is a negative experience. And you accepting a negative experience, it is a positive experience. And so just like that, this is the law of reverse effort. The more desperate you are for clear skin, the worse you will feel about your skin. The more desperate you are to be rich, the more poor you will feel. The more desperate you are for a girl, the more she goes away. The more you try to save up money, the more money you lose. Like you're trying to be cheap on buying a phone, let's say. You're like, oh, this phone is 100, $200, that one is 1,000 or 500. Which one should I, man, it's too much, 500, I'm gonna go for the 200, phone. Just like that. Guess what? The phone is gonna break in 1 year and you end up buying another phone, so it costs you, let's say, then you buy a good phone, which is like 400, so it costs you 600 in the period of 2 years. While if you had bought the 500 phone, it would have lasted you for 3 years. So just like that, by trying to save up, you ended up losing more money. This is a really great example. Or people who are scared to invest in a mentor, in a coach. Just like that, by them not investing, they're gonna keep doing trial and error into random crap like trying skincare products or these random pills, these supplements. None of them will actually fix the root cause of their issues, of their health. Therefore, they end up spending more money when they should have just invested in the first place in the mentor, in the coach, and they would have solved the problem just like that in the least amount of time. Yes, the amount of money they put it in the first place was higher, but in the long term, it's a lot less. Just like that, it's the law of reverse effort, man. The more you try to not get hit in boxing, for example, you're like, oh man, he's really good, I can get hit, and you're putting your head down, or you turn your back away from him, you turn your back, the more you get hit. If you do boxing, you know how true this is, man. Or, for example, man, this is on the positive side. If you feel weak in the gym, you're feeling weak in the gym. It's making you stronger, just like that. Oh, I can't lift this weight, I'm weak. No, you're literally getting stronger. The law of reverse effort. Or, for example, talking about your insecurities and not being afraid of them will make you more confident. When we think, oh, it's the opposite. If I share my insecurities, people will make fun of me. No, it's the opposite. You will actually be perceived as more confident. The same thing as the pain of an honest conversation is what causes bigger trust and respect. So you might think, oh, I gotta lie, I gotta hide this because it's gonna cause frustration, discussions. If you tell the truth, It literally causes the opposite. It creates more trust and respect. In trying to fit in and be liked, people end up not respecting you. You end up being a class clown too. So this is the law of reverse effort, man. And it's funny because you see the people who try the least, who don't even care too much about achieving a goal, they're the ones who achieve it. It's called the law of least importance. And you see it with, for example, Togi. He's a YouTuber that just gambles all his money. You go watch his videos, man, he just loses money. But guess what? He just makes it all back because he does not give a fuck. He doesn't allow money to have importance over him. He knows the money is going to come back. So just like that, it's the law of reverse effort. And so you gotta be able to say, fuck it, man. Fuck it. You gotta be able to quit that job, send the application, break up that relationship, book that one-way ticket flight to Thailand, to Bali, go pursue your dreams, man. Approach that girl and invite her. Pitch your product, an idea, assume the close, run that marathon at 3 a.m. in the morning when everybody's sleeping. Who the hell cares? Maybe there's a storm, people are telling you to stay inside. Go run the marathon, invest in the coach, in yourself. Because guess what? One day you will be dead, man. One day you will be dead. And so if you had to watch your life back, let's say you're 90 years old, you have a movie in front of you and it's the movie of your life, would you want the movie to be this dude who's just in comfort all day scrolling? Or would you want the movie to be you running a business hidden from your parents, you bought a phone and a PC without them knowing and you started making money online and then you went to Thailand with 5,000 in your bank and you had no idea if you were going to survive and then you started training Muay Thai there and you got beat the hell up from this dude and then you had to travel to another country, meet this millionaire, and just take the risk, or you just want to be like everybody else. You work some job, you live the same mundane life every day, and you don't even remember what you did yesterday because it was so mundane. It was the same thing every day, man. So you gotta be able to say fuck it. And deep down, you know you gotta do the fuck it, man. You know when it's time to quit the job. You know when it's time to send the application to a job which you do not have qualifications for. Man, I gotta send the application, fuck it. Or break up the relationship which is just slowing you down. Man, fuck that shit. Or book the one ticket flight, man. Fuck what everybody else to say. I'ma post my first YouTube video. Fuck what everybody else to say, man. Fuck it. This is what I'm talking about. And so just like that, saying fuck it equals setting priorities, man. That's what it is. That's what it is, man. Saying fuck it equals setting priorities. So for example, not giving a fuck isn't indifference, it's peace with your own difference. Everybody's different, and you have your own mission inside of you. You have your own uniqueness, man. Perhaps you have this weird thing inside of you that you love to walk naked in the forest, or you love to paint, but your family tells you to be a doctor, whatever. When you say fuck it, man, I'm gonna pursue my dreams, you're just at peace with your own difference. That's what it is. And so you stop being affected by adversity when you're committed to something greater than it. So if you go to, for example, pursue your dreams and book a one-way ticket to Thailand instead of going to college, for example, because that's your dream, which is mine, for example, then why? Then if I'm trying to be perfect, man, if I'm trying to care about everybody's opinion, like I'm gonna start not I'm not gonna do that because I can't let my parents down, I can't let my random aunt down, my random uncle down that I barely talk with him. I can't, it's gonna cause some discussion or they're gonna gossip about me or whatever. Who the fuck cares, man? Fuck it, I have bigger priorities and my priorities are achieving my dreams. It's like when you step on dog shit. Let's say you get frustrated about it. Oh, what the fuck, man? I stepped on this. It's terrible. That shows me how you don't have a greater purpose. Because if you had a greater purpose, you'd realize how useless, how insignificant stepping on the dog shit really is. Yes, it's annoying, but who the fuck cares? We keep moving. On to the next one. It's just like your family discussions. On to the next one, man. We gotta focus on the bigger picture, on the bigger priorities. It's like when you see that random grandma. That random grandma in the grocery store yelling about her coupons not working because she has nothing else to do. She's almost dying right there, and the only thing she cares about is the freaking coupons. It's like the all she has to fight for, man. So she's gonna get annoyed as hell by the coupons. Or when somebody insults you, when somebody talks crap about you, gossips. If you care about it, it's simply because you don't have bigger priorities. You're focusing on random bullshit which does not matter, man. And so maturity is learning to care about the right things. That's what maturity is. And you can judge a man, the size of a man, by the size of the problems which upset him. So Elon Musk, let's say, he probably sees millions of dollars leaving his bank account on a day to day, and maybe he gets like a random employee stealing his money, whatever. Like some crazy thing happens. His rocket that it took years to build explodes. He's gonna be very like, oh, okay, it's part of it, whatever. That shows the size of the man he is, man. While a person who gets annoyed for you, for example, leaving the dishes on top of the table, and he's like, what the fuck, you didn't clean the dishes? Huh? That is a very emotional man, which does not have any size, any strength inside of him. You can tell the size of a man by the size of the problems which bother him. And so if somebody gets bothered by insignificant things, by like random people gossiping, or by the football that's playing on the or the news, random crap, man, on that's on the television. Oh, you see this video, this even must eat this, all this nonsense. Then I know I cannot really care about this person. I cannot trust him because they're focused on random crap which just doesn't matter. So if they're wasting their own time, which is limited, on random crap which does not matter, how are they gonna help me in a way? Because they're willing to waste their own time, their own health, their own mental clarity on random crap. They're gonna waste my too. They're gonna waste my mental clarity, my health too. You know, they're not scared of hurting their own health, their own mental sharpness. So they're gonna start hurting mine too, without even being conscious of it. And so, let me ask you, man, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? Me personally, what I would do is end acne forever, man. Nobody in the world would ever struggle with acne. And by me answering this question, I started to get some really crazy insights, crazy new perspectives on life where I can build my own hospital and put my own clinics, my own hospitals around the entire world, man, where it's focused on holistic health. It's not random pills, random skincare which does not work. No, man. And just like that, by me answering this question, if I turn that vision into reality, I can literally become a billionaire. Like if I had thousands of clinics in the entire world, just like hospitals or just like there's Starbucks everywhere in the world, then I would become a billionaire, man. And so if I knew I couldn't fail, that's the vision I'm going for. That's what I'm going for, man. And so, and at the same time, you gotta ask yourself, what are you willing to suffer for? You know, I'm willing to suffer for that. I'm willing to suffer to make health, holistic health, accessible to everybody. I'm willing to suffer for that, man. I'm willing to turn literally my life around it. Because if you ask me, okay, you will die right now. You will die right now. What's the one thing you wish you had done and changed on this planet? I would say, man, end acne forever. I don't want anybody to struggle with acne anymore. That's what I would do, man. And so just like that, this is my bigger mission. By answering these questions, I got that insight. And so what problems do you want to solve? What is the bigger problem you want to solve? Do you want to solve the problem of flipping burgers in a McDonald's? Or do you want to solve the problem of having 2,000 employees under you and you have to make sure they have money every single month? Because otherwise they're gonna starve and they have families to sustain, man. That's the problems I want to solve. I want to solve bigger problems. I want to save 1,000 men from acne, or 10,000, or 1 million men. Like Tony Robbins, that's a really great example. He has saved over billions of people from hunger. He has given billions of people meals, and he started poor. He was really poor. He did not have food in Christmas Eve or in Thanksgiving, I believe. And so that was his mission right there. His mission went from I do not have food in Thanksgiving. Somebody gave me food. Man, I gotta help billions of people. And he made that a reality. And when you help others, you will solve your own dreams, okay? You will achieve your dreams by helping others. That's how it works. So if you help 1,000 people to get clear skin, to get what they want, to get, healthy, they will also help you get to what get, they will also help you get what you want. So they will pay you back and therefore you can achieve your own dreams of buying your dream car, buying your dream mansion. That's how it works. And so you need to understand everything causes suffering, man. The person without a family suffers for not having one, and the person with a family suffers for having one. This is so true right here, man. Listen carefully. The person without a family suffers for not having one, and the person with a family suffers for having one. Everything causes suffering, man. Everything. Just like a person with no money. Oh, I don't have money. But then the person with money, they're scared of getting killed on a day to day because they have money. Somebody's coming to them. That can happen. And for example, the person with acne suffers from insecurity, while the person with clear skin suffers from having to be super strict, saying no to parties, being in the sun all day, eating healthy, eating clean, avoiding natural sugars even. There's always going to be suffering, man. And so you need to decide what is the suffering you're willing to go for. Are you willing to suffer, for example, insecurity of having acne, or are you willing to suffer the having to be strict and getting sun all day and avoiding parties? Are you which suffering are you willing to go for, man? That's what you need to decide. Even the fact of having to explain yourself to people about your lifestyle and it causes them to hate on you. You gotta be choosing, man. You either suffer from one of these. And so you would, and so you gotta understand, man. There is no such thing as once I have X, I will be happy, or in 3 months, once school ends, once this job ends, everything will get better and be great. That doesn't exist. That does not fucking exist. It doesn't, man. I'm telling you right now, it does not exist. If right now you have a dream of, man, once this job ends, once I get out of this situation, once this happens, once I have this amount of money, once this, once that, that's not fucking real. The only thing that's real is the right now. That's the only thing that's real, man. And we just proved it. You will always be suffering. So, for example, if I'm suffering right now because I gotta go to school and I want to be in Thailand, I want to go to Thailand, man. I will suffer once I'm in Thailand for the fact that I'm alone there. I no longer have my family. My mom doesn't cook anymore for me. I miss my family even. The people I was always having discussions with, which I was so tired of. I want to leave this place, but now I feel alone in there. And now I actually need to make more money, bro. Otherwise, I'm going to starve. I no longer have a roof under me, depending on my family, for example. So just like that, this shows how this is fake, man. Because you will always be suffering. Once you achieve a new goal, there will always be new problems, new suffering in there. So get this illusion out of your head, man. And so the solution to a problem is just the creation of another problem. You need to understand problems are a blessing. So if you struggle with acne, that is a problem. And that is a blessing right there. That is a blessing because through having this problem, you now learn how to actually be healthy. What is actually being healthy? You know to not eat junk food. You know to avoid even bread, pasta, things that the normal person eats, the average person. So this problem created a new problem, which is now you having to be super strict on the things you eat. Just like that, you see, you created a new problem. Same thing with achieving an aesthetic physique. You know, you have a problem. You look fat. You look ugly. Okay, let's solve this problem. Once you solve this problem, once you get checked, once you achieve an aesthetic physique, now you have another problem, which is maintaining that physique. Or girls are looking at you, and now you have a struggle to not fall into lust, not just having casual sex with them because you're so attractive, you're famous, you're rich. Now people are now you struggle with not falling into casual sex, man. The problems you have right now are a blessing, and by you solving them, will give you another problem, which will be another blessing. So that's how you gotta view problems. For example, you want to attract a certain girl. You have the struggle of attracting her. Once you solve that problem, once you build yourself into the man who can attract her, now you have the problem of having a girl annoying you every day. She's in the same house with you, annoying you about this, yeah, 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 gotta clean the dishes, whatever. Now you have that other problem. And so problems are a blessing. That's how you gotta see it, man. You gotta see if you solve today's problem, you will get tomorrow's problem. But if you do not solve today's problem, you will not suffer with tomorrow's problem. You will keep struggling with a smaller problem. So, for example, if you do not solve the problem of reaching 10K per month in your business, let's say, then how are you ever going to have the problem of managing a big business and having girls come up to you and you have to reject them to not fall into casual sex and uh, and you have higher problems instead of having small problems of like, oh, I gotta show up to the work at 8 p.m., 8 a.m. and flip the burgers. That's how it works, man. Problems are a blessing. You solve today's problem for tomorrow's problem. And happiness is simply found in solving problems we like to solve and enjoying the journey, enjoying the right now. The reason you probably feel frustrated, you hate your life, is simply because you're solving problems which you did not create them for yourself. So if you're working a job which you hate it, man, and you feel terrible every day because you're solving problems which you did not create for yourself. Somebody created them for you, and you feel like you don't have control over them. Like somebody just picked these problems and put it in on top of you, solve these problems, and you're like, no, man, I want to solve other problems. That's exactly what's going on. And then you find yourself visualizing the perfect life. Therefore, you're not living in the right now, and therefore you're not happy because happiness is found in progress. It's found in the constant solving of problems. And so this causes emotional stones, as I said. You start denying problems. You start victimizing yourself. So, for example, I found in my situation, I start visualizing the perfect life. I visualize myself in a supercar with the perfect family and being in the beach. I visualize the perfect life, the dream life, man. And this is mental masturbation with visualization right here. It's just visualization to escape my current reality, which I hate. And therefore, it's stopping me from actually seeing my problems and solving them. Because how do you solve a problem? 50% of solving a problem is by writing them down, by being clear on what is the problem. Once you write clearly what is the problem, you will be able to find the answer. But if you're escaping your problems by visualizing the future, dreaming high, ambition big, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if you're using it as an escape, you will not be able to see the real problems and solve them. So you won't be able to escape your current reality. Let me ask you, if you did your day, every single day, for 3 months, like if you repeated this day exactly for 3 months, would you achieve your dream result? Would you achieve clear skin, high energy, and aesthetic physique if you kept eating the same way every day, as you did right here? You probably wouldn't. Or would you achieve the certain financial goal? You probably wouldn't. So why are you focusing so much on visualizing the dream? Why not focus on the right now and just do the right actions in the right now? Which will therefore, if you repeat them like multiple times for 30 days, 90 days, it will happen, man. It's as simple as that. And then you also victimize yourself. You start blaming your family, your parents, the way they raised you, your job, your environment. You blame them, man. Or you have other patterns which can be personal to you. For example, in my personal situation, what I did was, for example, avoid tracking metrics of my business or avoid studying for school and just saying, school is completely useless. And I kept failing school. I was just denying problems right there. Denying problems and escaping reality, visualizing the dream reality, man. And victimizing myself, blaming my family. Or it can be, for example, bad habits, jerking off, staying inside all day, maybe grumbling and crying at night. What are you doing that is reinforcing these emotional stones, man? And you need to understand this is the formula of overwhelm right here. This is what causes you to be overwhelmed. First of all, goal conflict. So you have no priority in one goal. So you have conflicting goals right there. You have multiple things you're trying to do. Even the fact of, let's say, you're going to take your driver's license, and perhaps it just takes you 1 hour a day, just 1 hour a week, 1 hour a week to get your driving license. You have one driving lesson a week. Just the simple fact of you having in your mind, oh, I'm taking the driver's license, that's one goal. Just the simple fact of that being in your mind, it's already taking you mental resources. Or the fact that you have to go to school every day. Perhaps your goal is not to graduate and go to college and have the best grades, but just the fact that you have to go to school, it's taking you mental resources right there. And this is what causes goal conflict. You have so many things you want to achieve, you're trying to do too much at the same time. And it leads to goal conflict, man. And then it leads to cognitive fragmentation, which is basically trying to do so many things at once, trying to balance a good relationship with family, trying to balance health and making money and making YouTube videos and then studying and then that and then that. So many things, trying to multitask also, no deep work focus, and then weak execution. So basically, no consistency. Each day is fluctuating. One day you're productive as hell, then another week you're slacking, you fall back into bad habits, then you're back at it, then you fall, then you're back, then you fall, constantly restarting your progress. And then misalignment with your environment. So you have distractions, bad people around you that are making you act in a way which you do not like you gossip about others, you aren't working on yourself, training hard because of them, and this is multiplied by identity instability. So internal conflict of who you are. You're trying to protect so many identities. The identity of keeping a stable family, identity of escaping the matrix, achieving financial situation, achieve financial goals, achieving peak health. I'm a high performer who sacrifices self, but then you're like, no, I'm a holistic health. I gotta be in the sun all day, and then back and forth identity instability. Then emotional avoidance. So you fear, persuasionate, and you aren't dealing with emotions. You have unprocessed emotions, and you're also impatient. You want short-term results, like, oh, I need to achieve 10K right now. By the end of this month, I can do it. I can, instead of thinking long-term and trusting the process and building the skills needed. Then multiplied by nervous system stress. So you have high inflammation, insulin resistance, most likely from constantly snacking to hide the emotional stress, constantly living a indoor life under artificial light, and then dopamine dysregulation, which is basically you just being with your dopamine completely screwed by social media, by porn, by watching Netflix, by being under artificial lights, bad circadian rhythm. Basically, all of this can be summarized by overwhelm happens when demand is higher than capacity. So perceived demand is higher than perceived capacity. Because most likely it's just your perception. It's not even the actual reality. It's all in your mind, man. And so let's actually go through how to fix this. So first of all, don't assume you're entitled. I know you believe you're meant for greatness. You're different than everybody else. And so you fantasize about the dream, about the perfect family, about the mansion, about the best cars, about being this famous artist and achieving greatness, man. But you gotta fantasize about the work instead of the dream. If you just want the dream for the sake of having the dream because it's life, oh, it's perfect dream, you will not have it. In order to achieve the dream, hard work is needed, man. So you gotta fantasize the hard work instead of the dream reality. Fantasize putting in the work. And you gotta understand, man, these are two ways you cope, okay? These are two ways you cope if you believe you're entitled. And you might say, oh, I don't believe I'm entitled. Let's find out with these two things. You believe I'm fantastic. And all of you are mess, man. All of you are NPCs. Like, so I deserve to be better treat. I deserve to get a better treatment. You believe that everybody around you is like an NPC. They're losers. They're not aware of their country's reality. Which I mean, it's not necessarily a lie. Most people are just operating out of pleasure, and they're not even aware of what's actually going on in the world. But you can't be thinking in this way because this, if you believe this, you're gonna stop yourself from having deep conversations with certain girls, with your family, and those conversations can actually take you to a next level in your journey. So don't believe this, man. Otherwise, you're just believing you're entitled. You're better than everybody else. Or you believe I'm a mess, man. I'm shit. And you're all fantastic. So I deserve a special treatment. At the end of the day, you believe you're different. You're the best in the world. I deserve better than everybody else. This is what being entitled is, man. And so this way, you think you're special. That's what it is, man. And the truth is, you are not special, man. The problems you're going through right now, millions of other people have had the same problems. Millions of other people. Frustrations with family. They've also had it. Millions of people have also had it. Or your business is going down, you're losing so much money. Millions of other people have also had it. Alexander the Great, Napoleon, all these people, they've had definitely bigger problems, most likely. So just like that, man, in a way, thinking you're special will actually slow you down here. And I'll get to that in a second. Because you most likely operate from a place of all in or all out. You know, you're either this famous artist, everybody recognizes you, you're the man, or you're homeless. You're literally homeless on the street because you're okay with being in the extremes. I'm either winning in life, I'm the best, or I'm homeless. Okay, who cares? You're not okay with being mediocre, right? So you're either in one of these. But just like that, you need to understand, man, every great person They have always had a humble mentality. In fact, every great person, they always believe they weren't good enough. They always believe, man, I gotta be better, and always focused on doing more. They never were like, oh man, I'm special, I'm the best already, and believing they deserve the results without doing the work. There's no problem with believing you're meant for more and having high ambition. Yes, you should have. But you also gotta be humble and do the work. That's what you gotta focus on. So, for example, Ronaldo, this is a big quote of his. In my mind, not just this year, but always, I am always the best. So he believed he's special. Yes, he did. But I am always going to say that. But I also know that I have to work harder than everybody else to maintain that. So you see that? He's focused on the work. He's not focused on, I made it, man. I made it. This is a big problem. People, they achieve clear skin, they achieve high energy, they achieve a steady physique, they achieve certain financial goals, they travel in the world, and then they say, I made it. And then they crumble back down. The harder you climb with no foundation, the harder you fall. And then Khabib, man, is a great example. 99% of talent is lazy. Being gifted isn't enough. You have to grind every single day, even when you're already the best. Always focused on the work, man. Always focused on the now. What can I do now to be better? That's how you gotta operate. And so this is a phrase I like to use for myself, man. Hard truths. I ask myself, what is the hard truth I need to hear? What is the hard truth? And usually this happens when something triggers me. You know, somebody said to me something which triggered me. I feel like pissed off, or I'm not doing the right actions. What is triggering me? I find what's triggering me. Then why did that trigger me? Why did it trigger me? Okay, because in the past, like my family used to judge me a lot, and maybe this happened. Maybe it has nothing to do with my family. I'm just blaming him for no reason. It has to do with me never giving my full potential. I stop halfway or something. Okay, why do I consider this a failure? Why do I consider stopping halfway a failure? What's going on? How am I judging myself? Okay, I'm judging myself that if I win, if I am the best, then other people will give me attention. If they give me attention, it's probably because I did something wrong. Because as a child, every time I got attention was when I did something wrong. Nobody cared when I did good things. So you see, we went really deep on the root cause. And so let's change the values behind it now. Let's change the values. So, okay, the values are the something being right has to do with the effort I put in. That's a good value to have. You know, if I go halfway because I'm scared of the attention I'll get if I win the race, for example, then that doesn't align with my value. My value is to always give my best effort. So I'm gonna be focused more on my effort than the attention of others. So it wins. Just like that. This is how you do it. And I'll go more in depth in a second. But you gotta ask yourself, what's the thing that I need to hear, man? What is the thing that I'm avoiding? Because we avoid the things that are misaligned with our values, with our identity. So what am I avoiding? And just like that, this is value setting, what I just did. So for example, if you're always late to work, let's say you're always late to work, the truth is, and you might not think this consciously, but the truth is, in your mind, you believe that a 5 minute hot shower is more valuable than the respect of your boss or the time of your boss. If you make your boss wait 5 minutes, you know, because you were taking a longer shower, you took your time, I'm late, who cares? The truth is, maybe you don't think this consciously, but subconsciously you believe, man, who the fuck cares about my boss time? It doesn't matter. Who the fuck cares? Fuck him, bro. I don't care about his respect either. Taking this hot shower is so much more important, man. This hot shower is more valuable than this. This is why it's called values. Values, man. Values, value. It's what you find most value. That's how it works. So you find most valuable to maybe edit a video or take a shower, whatever makes you wait, than being on time, right there. Because you could have gotten on time. You could have literally woken up 5 hours earlier and waited 5 hours in front of the job where the doors were even closed, but you were waiting there to make sure you were on time. But you don't value the job and being on time, the boss time, and their respect as much as waiting 5 hours. But perhaps if you were waiting for this new new shop to open and there's the new brand new clock, let's say Rolex, I don't know, I'm just saying random stuff. Let's say there's the new Rolex about to come out, you gotta wait 5 hours in the line to get it. You will value the Rolex more than those 5 hours. That's what it's happening right there. Maybe you don't think it consciously, but it's what's happening. Perhaps you wait in line when you're waiting in a cafe. Why do you wait in line? Because you value the respecting others more than those 5 minutes of wait. Or maybe you don't care about the respect of others, but you're more scared of the judgment they'll give you by you skipping the line. So you value more the fear of not being judged than your 5 minutes of wait. For example, this one is something I went through, man. You can't tell the truth to your parents about not wanting to go to college and instead build a business. So right there, you're protecting the underdog identity where you feel like people are against me, man. I'm alone in this. I'm fighting. This is what you're defending. Maybe you are not even aware of it, and you don't even want to defend it. But it's how you've developed yourself. It's what your comfort zone now is. And maybe you value more the adrenaline of uncertainty and scared of conflict, or maybe you like getting attention from conflict that goes on a day to day in your house. Just like that, you're valuing this more than the respect from your family by telling the truth, by being open and honest. you're valuing this more than this. And perhaps you don't even want this, but your mind does not know the difference between right or wrong. It just knows what's comfortable and not comfortable. And you have developed this to be what's comfortable. And your values have been developed this way right here. And so you gotta change this, man. You gotta be able to change this. And for example, going to boxing practice. You're going 1 hour to boxing practice. The truth is, you may not think this, but subconsciously you value training hard for that 1 hour in boxing. You value that more than going to help some homeless people. Because if you valued more helping homeless people, you would be going to help homeless people instead of doing the boxing. Maybe that sounds like, oh man, it's not true, but it is. It is. And so here are some shitty values, man. Here are some shitty values. Pleasure. And this is what 90% of people go for. This is the values of 90% of people. It's just pleasure. I want to be happy, happiness. And there are levels to this, man. There are levels. And the more you level up in life, the harder it is going to be to notice the copes and bullshits you're going through. So, for example, pleasure. We have porn. Then we have casual sex and relationships, shallow relationships. And then we have looking at women lustfully. So maybe you struggled with porn, but then you quitted it, and now you gotten like success financially. So now you have a lot of women coming up to you, and so you switch that to casual sex. Just like that, you're literally operating from the same value, which is pleasure. You're no different than the guy watching porn. You're just at a different level here. Just doing it at a different level. Perhaps it's not as bad as porn, but it's still there. It's still in the wrong values, man. For example, junk food. That's terrible. But natural sugars and being a sugar addict with honey, fruit, that is still the same level. That is still shitty value of pleasure. And eating some bread with chorizo. Oh man, some bread with some seedless here and there. Oh man, it's just cheat meal. It's good. You're operating from the shitty values. So literally, if you're gonna do something which is in a lower level, and you ask yourself, is this scope or not? You are in the same level as fucking a guy watching porn, man. You're at the same level. Maybe it's the habit is not as detrimental, but both of you are coming from the same shitty value, which is just acting from pleasure. And so maybe you start with looking at women lustfully, but eventually you do this so much that it leads to this one, and then it leads to this one, to porn, and eventually, which is even worse, and you're gonna go to jail. It's like looking at minors and all that a ram crap, mega degeneracy where you go to jail because this stops being good enough. That's what happens, man. Or people like here, they go from junk food to drugs because junk food is no longer enough pleasure. They gotta go to drugs. And you kind of, if you're like struggling with deeply with like number one, oh, I junk food, then you can kind of slow down, like go to level two. Okay, natural sugar addict, honey, fruit, carbs, bread, maybe, and then go to third, which is like overeating with tons of meat. Yes, meat is healthy, but still, you're overeating. You're acting from gluttony. You're acting from sins. For example, degenerate parties. That's big one. Drinking alcohol for pleasure. Then we have video games. Oh, I'm playing video games with my friends. That's still pleasure. And then having useless conversations or gossiping about other people. That's still pleasure. Maybe not as bad as video games, but it's still there. And then even traveling for my own fun. Like people are like, oh, I'm a get a van. I'm gonna travel the world and be all happy and just surf all day. And man, to me personally, I believe this is a shitty value. A shitty value where you're putting your values on pleasure. Yes, traveling is good, but traveling without an intention of like a higher purpose of having of helping somebody in a higher level or bringing a bigger good for everybody, then I believe it's a shitty value, and you're just acting in the same way as going to the generous parties. It's just another way of seeing it is, but it's all gonna come down to getting pleasure. If you're traveling for fun, oh, I'm gonna travel the world, and yes, traveling is amazing and it can definitely broaden your mind. But if it's not with an intense purpose of like I'm gonna travel to have a better environment, to work better, to achieve something for a higher good, then I don't think I think it's kind of cope, man. And if you ask 99% of people what are their goals, it's always going to come down to shitty values. You ask them what you want to achieve in life. What are your goals? They're going to say, "I want to be rich. I want to be rich." Or they're going to say, I want to travel the world. Or I want to eat all day and just have all the food." It's always from pleasure, shitty values. Yes, you can be like, "I want to eat healthy and improve myself." Yes, that's not like from pleasure. So it depends on the intention you have. You can travel for a good purpose, but you can also travel for just the pleasure of it and enjoy yourself, which I believe is shitty value still, man. So there are levels to this, and the higher you get in your self development, the more cope will appear, and the harder it will be to find if you're having shitty values or not. So you always gotta be aware, man, and judge yourself as like the first level. So if you're eating honey, if you're no longer eating junk food, then eating honey, a bunch of fruit, this should be seen as eating junk food, man. That's how you should go about it. Or casual sex. If you no longer watch porn, then casual sex should be seen as watching porn. It's the worst thing you can do. That's how you should do, man. You should not judge yourself based on everybody else. You should judge yourself based on your own personal level. That's why they say, it's a race against you, you versus you. But of course, surround yourself with the right people, and you are so much more capable than you even believe. Then other shitty values. Material success. This isn't necessarily shitty value, like you achieving a Lamborghini, you achieving Rolex. I mean, they can be like, okay. no issues with that. But the problem comes when you put money over things like honesty. So you start lying and not acting from the right intention just to achieve material stuff. Like, ah, once I achieve this house, once I achieve that, then I'm the man. This is a terrible, shitty value right here, man. And you should value your life based on real stuff like honesty, things you can apply in the right moment. Shitty values will be based on material, external stuff. So, I need to act this way to please others. That's a shitty value, but it's external. Like your fulfillment comes from external, the validation of others. Now, a good value would be I need to be always honest, no matter how others feel. That comes from the inside. It's not from the outside. It's not external. It's internal. There's a difference between shitty and good values. For example, another shitty value, always being right. And you see this a lot of times, man. People who just refuse to show they are wrong. They are always trying to be right, always trying to defend their point, even when there's nothing to gain there. They're just trying to, no, man, that's not true. Like the conflict goes crazy just because their value is to always be right. Even when they are wrong, they will never admit it. They will always reverse things and pretend like you said something else to always be right. I'm sure you've met these people. It's terrible, man. And those are people I always avoid to be around. For example, I watched this movie which was of the tribunal of Hitler. So after Hitler died, there was this tribunal with all the right men, the right wings of him. So all the right wings of him were judged in tribunal. And just like that, I believe this guy is Gordon Garmund. I believe that's his name. And he had the choice of saying in the tribunal, do you believe what Hitler was fighting for? Did you like Hitler? Like, did you like him and the things he did? And he could have said, no, man, I was doing that. He was forcing me to do it. I hated him. He could have said it. But you know what he did? He did, uh, he did that sign with the hand, and yelled, ah, Hitler. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I did not want to say it, but he basically he died because of that. Okay, they ended up killing him. Like he was meant to go get hanged. He ended up in the prison cell. He got a pill. They don't know how he got the pill inside the prison cell, and he ended up suiciding himself inside the cell. So technically he won because he was always right with his point of I support Hitler, and then he died because of that. He was sentenced to die to get killed because of that, but then he still was able to kill himself. Therefore, they did not kill him, so he won. So you see how his value was based on always being right. He was literally sentenced to death and suicided himself and left his family to be without a dad. Like he had a daughter, she grew up without a dad. He did all of this in order to be right, man. That's how terrible this value can be, bro. He was not even able to see how he was wrong and he could have survived because of admitting he was wrong. Then we have the shitty value. Always being positive. So if you're a person who's like, oh, I just got fired from my job. Man, this happened for a good reason, It's actually good because now it gives me the opportunity to do something else, eh? And oh, this relationship just broke. And it's actually a good thing, because then I can actually get a new relationship. This is a shitty value. Why? Because you're avoiding the actual truth, man. You're avoiding the truth, which you messed up in this, which got you to get fired or which got you to end the relationship. As I said in the beginning, remember? Remember what we said right here. Wanting, no, not this right here. The desire for a more positive experience is itself a negative experience. And paradoxically, the acceptance of a negative experience is itself a positive experience. So just like that, by you making a negative experience a positive one, you are literally making it, you gotta accept a negative experience as it is, and then it becomes positive. Like if you do the opposite, then it doesn't work. Okay, you get my point here. You gotta see the things as they truly are and see where you messed up, find the hard truths. Now, here are great values to have: vigor, honesty, justice, gratitude, humility, charity, chastity, temperance, wisdom, peace, defend others, trust in God, self respect, protect others, innovation, creativity, humility, curiosity. Okay, these are great values, and there are so much more. You gotta find also your unique strengths and apply them. You probably have bigger values than others, and utilize those more. And just like that, if you struggle with setting good values, like if you struggle to follow through them, you gotta define terms. What does define terms mean? So I was in this class, and the teacher was speaking about some very important stuff, like really important stuff. And I don't remember what, but I just started laughing like crazy. I was just laughing like crazy, bro. I just could not stop laughing. When you look at your friend and he's like this, and you just start laughing like crazy when the teacher is about her grandma dying or something, and you're just like breaking, like you cannot stop laughing. And in real time, I was in a situation like that. So I just told myself, define terms, man, define terms. What is funny? And then I was like, what is funny? Is this funny? Like, is laughing about whatever the teacher is talking about a serious subject, is me laughing about is funny? No, it's not funny. And then suddenly I stopped laughing because, no, it's not funny. Why am I gonna fucking laugh? That's what you gotta do. You gotta define terms. If you struggle with being honest, you gotta define terms. Okay, what is honesty? Honesty is saying things as they are, things as they truly are, not saying things which they aren't true. Okay, then why am I saying something else? Like what the fuck? No, I must say the right thing. You gotta define terms. Like define terms will allow you to follow through the right values. And if in real time you, for example, are operating as a person you do not like, as I said, you're laughing about things you honestly find kind of disrespectful to even laugh because it's not part of who you are about your values. Like you're gossiping about others when you're around certain friends, not friends, people, and you're like, bro, I don't gossip. This isn't my values. Why am I doing this? Okay, define terms. What is gossiping? He's talking bad about others. Okay, I don't do that, so I'm not gonna do that. That's what you gotta do. Define terms, man. This is a really good tactic right here. So you can change your behavior to this. If, for example, you think stealing, oh, I'm gonna steal that lady's phone, and you think, oh no, this isn't stealing. This is actually borrowing her. You're changing the terms. You see, this is how people go. Like they trick their own mind to do bad things because they change the terms. That's what they do. They change the terms. Oh, this isn't stealing. This is just borrowing for a bit. And borrowing, that's nothing wrong with borrowing. I can do it now. That's what they do. They change the terms. So you gotta be clear on the terms, man. And be honest, man. Always be honest. So let's say that you cheated on somebody. Like the worst thing you could possibly do in a relationship is cheat on them. Let's say you did. The only way for you to solve this and to actually get a second chance is for you to be real with the partner and say, with your partner and say, with me, to be real with you, I don't give a shit about our relationship. And I valued 5 minutes of pleasure with the other girl more than keeping trust with you. Because that is really what happened. Maybe you didn't think this consciously, but subconsciously it was what happened. You valued those 5 minutes of pleasure more than the trust you have with this person. That's what happened. And so the way you solve this is by telling them the hard truth, by telling you what actually happened with your values, and they'll either forgive you or not. If they don't forgive you, at least you were honest. If they do forgive you, which can happen, because you were actually honest, then it will be hard to build the trust again, but you slowly gotta build the trust. The reason why a relationship breaks up when the person betrays the other is because there's no more trust anymore. So you cheated on her. Now she's like, what the fuck? How can I trust you? You cheated on me. And therefore the relationship doesn't work because relationships are based on trust, right? So this is what happens. And here are three other points really important. Take extreme responsibility over everything that happens in your life. Literally everything. If the sun is shining, if it's raining, it's your goddamn fault right there. It's your fault. If your family is reacting in certain ways, it's your fault. You could have done something different. Everything is your fault. Everything, everything, everything. Everything is your goddamn fault. The reason you have no money right now, it's your fault. The reason you have lots of money, it's your fault. The reason you have anything, man, it's always your fault. Always your fault. Everything. You're in this. Maybe even like things of I'm in school. I'm forced to be here. It's your fault. You could have developed a business and get out of there. It's your fault still. So another thing is we are always wrong. Okay, and every time we learn, we become less wrong. Every time you believe you are right, you are wrong. I can guarantee you, man. So many times I've believed I found the truth to like true health, and then I found out, oh man, there's actually more to this. I wasn't actually right. So we are never right. We are always wrong, but we become less wrong. That's how it works. And the person who believes they are wrong, they are right. That's the only time when a person is right, when they believe they are wrong, because nobody's right. So even Socrates said, he said, the only thing I know is that I don't know anything. That's something like, I believe that's what he said. And so never believe you know everything. You always got to be learning more, always learning more, always learning more, always have an open mind, and be able to have conversations where maybe you get emotional, maybe you start defending your own point, and just realize, what the fuck, this is stupid. We're not going to get anything out of this, man. Let me actually just say I'm wrong or something and just move on with this. Like because people love to hear they are right. So when you get in a discussion with somebody, just tell them, oh, you're right, you're right. They'll feel good about themselves. Like they'll feel really good, and the discussion ends. So just like that, you skip so much frustration right there. And you are always saying no to something. Decide what you're going to say no to, okay? Or others will decide for you. And this is what standards are. So right now you're watching this video. You are saying no to spending time with your family or with being doing a workout right now or going out with a homeless person. You're saying no to that. And the truth is, you actually decided for you, I'm going to say no to all those things. But a lot of the times we struggle to say no. Like somebody invites us to a party. We don't really want to go, but we say, okay, okay. I'm going to go. You're scared to say no, man. And just like that, people will start stepping inside your bubble. People will start stepping inside of you and will do anything they can because you allow them to. And just like that, that's how they decide for you because you no longer decide for yourself. It's like in school, you want to reach a certain degree. If you do not focus on getting better grades, if you do not walk in, then others will decide for you what you can do or cannot because you don't have the grades, they have better grades than you. That's how it works. And this is standards right here. This is standards. Standards is saying no to something. And every time you say yes to something, you're also saying no. Every time you say yes to a party, you're saying no to going to bed early, for example. So this is standards, and you gotta define those clear standards. That's how you you literally start operating as the person you want to be. And so let's go through the actionable sheet, okay? Go through the actionable sheet below, man, and answer all the questions with brutal and honesty and with very depth, man. The more depth you have in the answers, the better it is. And so we're gonna set those clear standards, we're gonna set clear values, define terms in all those questions. So we actually implement all of this, man. I hope this value, I hope this module was very valuable because, man, it genuinely was. So just like that, go through the actionable sheet because that's all it matters is action, is implementation. So fill out all the questions and go through the actionable steps also. Let's go. See, down below in the description of this module. Welcome in everybody to the court of habits. Today I'm gonna be your jury and you're gonna be the defendant, the person who's being accused. So just like that, this is the process that I've created by reading Atomic Habits, which is a really great book on building habits or breaking bad habits. And to be honest with you, you don't even need to read it. Yes, you can read it and it's going to give you more insights on this, on building habits. But after I read the whole book, I took a lot of notes and the key takeaways that I got was simply this. It's all in here. And this is all that I remember pretty much from reading the book. So if you want to read it, you can definitely give you more insights. But you truly just need this out of the book to understand, everything about habits. So let's go through this. How to create a good habit. First of all, we want to, just know how we're at with our current habits. Write down every single habit that we have. And then after we have like all our habits written in a piece of paper, and you can do this right now, okay? Write down all the habits that you have. Write down on a piece of paper. Go get a piece of paper. Write down on your journal or over here on your one-on-one dashboard. You can write under this, which you all have access to this on the one-on-one dashboard. So you write all the habits you have, and then which habit do you want to add? What new habit you want to build? Okay, I want to, get more consistent with working out, with calisthenics, or with reading a book. Okay, so what current habit do I have? Well, right now at 8 a.m. I always have breakfast. Okay, so I will read 10 pages of a book at you know, at outside after I get out of my house in my backyard. And I will do this habit after I eat breakfast. I will read 10 pages. So this is really good mantras for you to have. Like it's so easy to add habits and by stacking them. You do this habit, then you do the other, then you do the other, then you do the other, and you just do this on a day to day. So easy because we are humans of habits. We all have habits. They might just be bad. Your habit is to always go to the bathroom with your phone. That's a terrible habit and design your environment to make the cues of the good habits as obvious and visible as possible. So you go to have breakfast, the book is already there. The book is on top of the desk which you prepare the breakfast. And then you just remind, okay, after I eat breakfast, I go and I read a book, 10 pages. Simple. Then the second one, you gotta make it attractive. Use temptation bounding, pair an action you want with an action you need to do. So after you read the 10 pages, which is something you need to do, you're gonna do something which you want to do, like go on a walk or eat breakfast. Like you first do the 10 pages, you first do the deep work, and then you do the action which you want, which is having the breakfast. And join a culture, join a group, which makes this desired behavior so normal. So if you enter a library, suddenly it's easy to read because everybody's reading. If you go to the gym, boxing gym, it's so easy to train because everybody's training there. If you start smacking, you're gonna seem like a loser, and you don't want that. When you have that pressure around you, it's gonna be so much easier. So you need to join a same-minded culture, same-minded group of people. Then create a motivational ritual. Do something you enjoy immediately before a difficult habit. So you can, for example, before you do this habit, you can clap your hands, like something like that. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo, every time he goes to shoot the ball, which is a difficult habit, right? To score a penalty, like a free kick, I believe that's how you say it, to score that, he always does that run way. Like he walks slowly backwards and then he runs and he shoots. That's his ritual to put his mind in the right mental state to win. And therefore, he scores a lot of the times. So you need to have kind of a ritual like that. Like before you go to the gym, you prepare your gym bag. That gives you that ritual. Then you gotta make it easy. Reduce the friction, decrease the number of steps between you and your good habits. So if your goal is to get a workout in, then perhaps you having a gym next door. It's gonna be a lot easier than if you have to drive 20 minutes by or go on a bus, of course. So make the environment as easy as possible. Like reduce the friction. If you want to read a book, don't leave the book on top of a bookshelf. No, leave the book on top of your table. Then prime the environment, prepare your environment to make future actions easier. Just like that, you gotta be around the right people at the right places. The environment is such a big thing, man. Like if you are put in a party and everybody's a drug addict, eventually you'll become a drug addict. Like we might say, oh, I'll never do it. But if it's like your entire life is around drug addicts, that's all you know. Like you can't leave that place. Eventually you're gonna become one. Now, if you are also walked in the gym and there's only jacked people in there, eventually you're gonna get jacked. It's that simple. So master the decisive moment, optimize the small choices that deliver outsized impact. So focus on doing the right actions instead of like trying to do everything at once, or trying to get this habit. No, just focus on one thing, and you try to focus that thing 1% at a time. Use the 2-minute rule So downscale your habits until they can be done in 2 minutes. Like, oh, I don't really feel like getting a workout in. I'm not gonna do it. Okay, let's do it in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. That's 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, 20 squats. That's it. That's a good workout. Let's go. And then you start doing those push-ups, and then you suddenly want to do more. Then automate your habits. Invest in technology and purchases, one-time purchases that make you walk in that future. So if, for example, you want to improve your health to a whole new level, if you buy a plane ticket to El Salvador or to the tropics like Bali, suddenly you're not gonna slack off on your goals of like building the business, working out every day, reading books to learn. Suddenly you're not gonna slack off because you literally put yourself in that pressure and you invest. When you invest money, you actually follow through. So that's another thing. Then make it satisfying. Use reinforcing. Just like we are animals. So how do people train dolphins to do tricks? Do the trick dolphin and then they give them food. Reinforces. The dolphin does the bad thing, they kind of punish him a bit, which makes the dolphin not mess up again. You gotta do that with yourself, like reinforce good habits or um, don't reinforce bad habits, of course. If you do a bad habit and then you go eat some ice cream, you're literally reinforcing doing the bad habit. Now, you don't want to reinforce good habits with bad habits, like, oh, I just did 20 push-ups, gotta work out, let's eat some ice cream. That's bullshit. You are literally gonna get the consequence of eating the ice cream, which is gonna literally reduce the results of the workout. It doesn't make sense. You're literally not rewarding, you're punishing yourself by not getting the results. Then make doing nothing enjoyable. When avoiding a bad habit, design a way to see benefits in it. Then use a habit tracker. So, track your streaks. That really gives you that dopamine. For example, when you go to driving classes, you gotta check the classes. Like you have 30 classes to show up, and it generally once makes you to want to go more. I need to finish the 30 now. Let's go. You gotta do the same with your habits. Never miss twice. When you forget to do a habit, make sure you do it tomorrow. No excuses, even if it's 1 minute. Like one page, you forgot to read, you're about to go to sleep. Just read one page, just one page, just to make sure you get the habit. Because if you stop doing the habits, one page doesn't matter, like screw it. You're eventually gonna forget, and then it's like 3 months, and you're thinking, holy crap, I haven't read in 3 months. Now, how to break a bad habit? Reduce exposure to it, remove the cues of your bad habits from your environment. So if you struggle with porn, every time you go on Instagram, you see these beautiful girls, that's the cue. You gotta freaking cut that out. You gotta get off Instagram, man. Reframe your mindset, highlight the benefits of avoiding your bad habits, increase the friction, increase the numbers of steps between you and your bad habits. So if you, for example, go out every night with some friends and you drink, then if you block those friends with me, you're not going to do it because the friction between you and going to meet the friends to the party is going to be insane. You can't even speak to them. I wouldn't say they are friends, okay? People that influence you to do bad habits, I wouldn't call them friends, by the way. Then use a commitment device, restrict your future choices to the ones that benefit you. So if you have a friend next to you or a coach, they are going to keep you accountable. They're not going to tell you, oh, it's okay for you to jerk off right now. No, they're actually going to keep you accountable and you're going to feel the pressure. You need people around you, man. You need an environment, a community that pushes you forward. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and you are also a product of your standards. If you allow yourself to, slack off and not make as much content to with your business or eat the healthiest food to get your skin, like if you kind of slack off here and there, it's because your standards aren't high enough. You're okay with having some acne, with not being at 10K per month or whatever. You are lacking those standards, and so you need to put yourself around the environment which increases your standards. If you're around people making 100K a month, all the people around you are making 100K a month, you are gonna feel like absolute shit. You are gonna feel terrible about yourself, and you just want to push yourself to achieve that 100K a month, and suddenly you achieve it so much faster than you would have alone because you increased your standards. It's like if I put you on top of a bunch of fire, rocks on fire, you would move. You would get out and move because it's uncomfortable. Now, the reason you are in a position which you find like, oh, I'm making 1K, not 10K or 100K, whatever, is because you don't find that position uncomfortable. The truth is that because if it was truly uncomfortable, you would make a change. Then get an accountability partner, ask someone to watch your behavior. For example, me, create a new habit contract, make the cost of your habits, of your bad habits public and painful. So for example, you can go on YouTube and we start a channel with saying like day one of quitting porn, day one of semen retention, and then day two of semen retention, day three. And then since you are posting that, if you freaking relapse, you're gonna post online, oh guys, I messed up, and you're gonna feel terrible. You have that accountability. It needs to be public. If there was people, if your mom was watching you jerk off, for example, bad habit or smoking or whatever it is, you would not do it, right? And so you need to make the pain of doing it bigger than the pleasure of doing it. Okay, so with this in mind, we now know how to create a good habit, how to break a habit. And here is simple. Here is the 4 stages of a habit. We have the cue. So for example, with lust, with porn, you go on Instagram, you see a beautiful girl, you get the cue, suddenly pops up the idea in you. You get the craving of like, oh man, I could jerk off right now, like something like that. And then you get the response, like you do the bad habit, and then you get the reward, which is the dopamine spike. Or You eat some junk food, you get the dopamine spike again. And overall, this is going to be destroying your dopamine, of course, with these bad habits. And so we want to fix this. And that's where the court of habits comes. This is the tables that I've created through my own experience on how I break bad habits. So every time you relapse with corn, with any bad habit you want to break, you come over here. No excuses, okay? You broke the bad habit. No worries, man. You relapse. That's okay. It happens. It's not okay, but okay, it happens. Now you just have to come over here and you fill this out. And of course, I have access to this, so I will see and I will, instantly call you or text you, ask you what's going on, and we'll go on a one-on-one call to fix what just happened to make sure it doesn't happen again. But you come over here and you fill this in. So when did this happen? What was the bad habit done? What specific cue triggered this? Okay, was it because you were frustrated from your job? This person talked bad about you, so you wanted to relapse, to numb the pain. What happened? How were you feeling? We need to see the patterns to make sure they don't happen again. Then the craving. What did you actually want? Did you want a relief, a distraction, comfort, some reward? You wanted to get your dopamine drained so then you feel some drive to then move forward and pursue other goals. That's a mistake I was doing. Like, every time that I was smacking, I would literally relapse on porn just to shut down my dopamine, because your dopamine spikes like crazy, but then it goes down below the baseline. And just like that, down below the baseline, you feel the need to like make something change because you feel like shit. And so I literally relapsed to feel like shit to then make a change and get work done because I was procrastinating, which is terrible. How terrible is that look, man? So that was one of the biggest reasons that I was craving the bad habit. Then the response. So the cue would be procrastinating, like scrolling. Then the craving would be, wanting the dopamine drainage to then go work. And then the response would be me jerking off, and then reward would be the dopamine spike, and then me doing, some work, which would always be shit. I just jerked off. How would I get good work done? So why is this? Then you gotta ask yourself, what will you remove or hide to eliminate the cue? Okay, what action did you take? What reward did you get? You gotta answer these two too. And what will you remove or hide to eliminate the cue? Okay, delete Instagram. Delete YouTube Shorts, which is messing up my dopamine, my productivity. Get away from artificial light, which is messing up my dopamine too, blue light. Then, why is this habit actually harmful? Be brutally honest. Why is this harmful? Because jerking off increases my prolactin. It literally causes, it develops literally, I forgot the name, geochemastia, I believe that's how you say it, which is like your nipples get estrogen in there because of the prolactin being raised. That's something you generally develop from jerking off. Then you also, become more feminine, more acne. It's terrible. And you lack energy. You can't speak to a girl without thinking bullshit. You are becoming more and more a freaking creep. And eventually, if it goes like deep, you will start watching gay stuff and um, become like an Epstein person, the Epstein what he did. Like, I'm not joking, this is real. Like, if you do this so much, you will start becoming a complete weirdo, man, with this bad habit in specific. So that's why you gotta quit it, and that was one of the reasons why I quit it. It was only when I went deep, like really deep, on what are the consequences of this, what are the negative sides, then I completely stopped. Because I even started to, while I watched crap, I started seeing some really perturbing videos, and that's when I realized, holy shit, man, holy shit, I do not want to be like this. Because this is real people that you see on the screens, and they are doing this disturbing crap, getting with a bunch of women. This is mental diseases, man, right there. I don't want to end up like them, so that's the reason I stopped. Simple as that. You gotta make the pain bigger than the pleasure of doing it. So you then, what friction will I add to this? So I will be outside all day. That was one of the best life hacks to quit bad habits, is just being outside all day, no artificial light, going to bed early. Then what consequences or accountability will I add? So perhaps, if you have a friend and every time you relapse, you give him $10. You can do that. Or every time you relapse, you call me. Exactly. And you will feel like crap because you're literally telling me, oh man, I just relapsed. You're gonna feel like crap. Then what will you do instead when the urge hits? Okay, when I get the urge to do it, I will go on a walk. I will go on a run. I will call my mom. I will take a cold shower, go to the ocean, go to the beach, approach some girl on the street. I will do that. What's the easiest possible version of that replacement? Go on a walk, go outside, go approach a girl that you just see on the street. What I feel, Q, when I feel this Q, like I feel the need to open shorts, I will pick up a book and go outside in my backyard and read. This is the new mantra. Then what will you change in your environment today? Okay, I will delete YouTube shorts, for example. Then text me or talk to someone to watch your behavior. Okay, did I do that? Yes. Then what happens if you do it again? What is the real consequence? I will tell my dad I did this bad habit. Let's say you relapse to porn. I will tell my dad that I relapsed. There is a real fucking consequence there. What you get if you resist next time? What is the reward you get after you were successful in resisting? Okay, I will.
allow myself to have some good beef, some good beef snack, like some jerky meat that is healthy, of course, no processed crap. So just like that, you see, after you do a bad habit, you have to come over here and fill the table like I just did. I didn't write it, but I just spoke it with you. So you have to come over here and write it. And then every week, when we have our weekly call, we are gonna check everything that's in here, and we're gonna see what changes can we actually do. And I will help you to stay accountable and to fix this. Then let's say you missed a good habit. Okay, I missed a good habit. I was meant to read. I was meant to do a workout, but I didn't. I was meant to eat a lot of seafood, DHA, I didn't. What do I do? Okay, when was this? What is the date? What is the bad habit missed? When were you supposed to do it? Where were you supposed to do it? What did you do instead? What was the distraction? If you are able to write all the distractions in your day to day, you will become aware, and suddenly you're gonna open shorts on YouTube and you're like, screw this, man, this was a distraction of yesterday, I can't do it again. You must become aware. That's all the big issues behind habits. Is a lack of awareness, is a lack of mindfulness. Because when you do these bad habits, when you get distracted, it's simply a way for you to get out of the right now. You are trying to escape the present moment by numbing yourself with some dopamine. That's what's happening. And so if you're mindful in the present moment, at every second, you suddenly are able to say no to any bad habit or do any good habit effortlessly. So then, what caused you to miss this bad habit? What was the cue? What cue was missing? What would have made you, this good habit more visible? How can I make it more visible next time? How can you make this habit more appealing or rewarding? Like if you want to read, you can go outside and go to the beach. It's going to be way more appealing to read there. What made it hard? Or what made it hard? How can you reduce the efforts and steps between you and the habit? Okay, what was hard is that, I had some friends calling me to go play some video games, and that was what made me not read. That was the distraction. So, okay, let's reduce that. Let's, turn off the notifications on my WhatsApp so I get no text message. Let's archive these people calling me to play video games because that's not my goals. And simple, I don't get their messages anymore. So I will not crave to play video games with them. What reward will you add after completing it next time? Okay, after I'm able to read, I will eat some beef jerky again. What's a smaller version of this habit you will do next time? Read one page, do 10 push-ups, record a 5 minutes video, 2 minutes, 30-second short, reel, if you're trying to make content creation. You gotta be specific. What are the habits? Of course, what are the downsides of not doing this habit? If I don't work out every day, I'm gonna end up fat. I'm not gonna get a six pack, which is not gonna allow me to get the most beautiful wife and have children that are proud of me. And I can retire my family because my coaching business has went up because I'm helping a lot of clients to get the results. What are the actual downsides? What are the benefits of doing these good habits? Okay, by me eating clean, DHA, avoiding EMF, for example, I'm gonna get clear skin. This getting clear skin will allow me to get more clients. And getting more clients will allow me to make money. And then I can buy a car, and then I can go to the gym, and then I can retire my family, and I can travel and create my own real holistic hospitals where I can save and change the entire path of humanity. Like no more dermatology scams in the world. No, I'm actually gonna build a billionaire empire where there's real holistic hospitals where we focus on healing the problem from the root cause, not giving some pills. By me walking in and getting clear skin now, I'm gonna be able to get more clients, which is then gonna give me more money to then invest in this my own clinics, creating my own personal hospitals, and then even creating my own school that's focused on teaching real, knowledge, not just putting children in a 8 hours cubicle under artificial light and they're running nonsense. This is how like you turn the doing the small little good habits like reading or recording a YouTube video into such great stuff. Like you build that vision, and then it's impossible not to want to do it because the pleasure of achieving those results is so much higher than the pleasure of slacking off, man. Then I will do this habit at certain time. I will do, read a book at 10 p.m. in my backyard after I eat breakfast. And then text Git, says talk to someone to watch your behavior and make sure you achieve it. So just like that, this is the court of habits. And I really want you to treat this as if you were being called to the court, like you just screwed up, you just committed a crime, you messed up on your habits, you're called to court, and now you're answering the judge all these questions to make sure this crime doesn't happen again. And he's gonna let you go, okay, man, you passed today, you can actually be free. You mess up again, you go to prison because I'm gonna know it, man, and I'm gonna keep you accountable to this. I'm gonna be the judge. So just like that, this is the court of habits. This is how you make sure you quit any bad habit and you create any good habit. And remember that eliminating bad habits is so much easier if you just replace them with good habits. So if you have issues with jerking off, replace that with on a walk on the beach and read a book. It becomes so much easier because then you can actually trick your brain with every time I get the lustful thought of doing something, I'm gonna trick my brain into thinking that this is actually to go read a book and go to the beach. You can trick your brain just like that, man. You are the one in control. Remember that. And at the foundation, it comes awareness and mindfulness. Remember that you are the one in control. Like you can just not do it. Understand? You can just not do it. It's an action. The past doesn't matter. The only thing that's real is the right now. And in the right now, you have the decision to make after the first day of the rest of your life. After the first day of the rest of your life. So you can decide the rest of your life today, man, by the habits you do. You decide to do bad habits, you're gonna decrease your full potential. You decide to do good habits, you increase it. And you don't gotta see them as good or bad, you just see them as actions. I did 30 push-ups. Okay, I did 30 push-ups. And I'm gonna get the result of increasing my muscle mass. While some other dude, he jerked off while I was doing the push-ups. Okay, he's gonna increase his prolactin, he's gonna become more feminine. Okay, no worries. That's his thing. This is my thing. Okay. I decide to do push-ups, he decides to do that. No issues. That's how you gotta view it. So you also don't suddenly start being arrogant because you're also like you're doing the better habits than others. No, screw it. He does his thing, I do mine. I'm gonna focus on my objectives, my goals, put myself in the best environment, and just focus on my stuff. That's simple. So just like that, if you have any questions, if you just relapsed, you feel this in, text me on WhatsApp and we'll go on a one-on-one call to make sure this doesn't happen again. We'll look at your environment to make sure it's fully aligned with your purpose, with your mission.
I am 99% sure that right now you have mental loops inside your head that you're not even aware of, and they're taking you like 40-50% of your brain capacity to do your day-to-day work, man. So what is mental loops? Mental loops is when you get an epiphany, or not just an epiphany, but you think of, I must do this certain thing. This is my bottleneck of right now, like the thing that's stopping me to grow. I should sort this out. I have this certain problem, I should solve it, whatever. And then you don't freaking do it. You don't solve it. And perhaps you, for example, you in business, you have to, hire an employee to fix this certain thing. And you didn't, like the information about the right employees, like you've searched up, oh, this guy could work, this guy doesn't work. Like you already have the data. It's not like you need to wait more and get more data. No, you already know the data. Waiting will never help you if in this scenario here, because you already have the data. And you should just make the decision. You either say I'm going to hire or you say I'm not. There's just two decisions to make, yes or no. Okay, let's ignore my phone just felt. Okay, so you have two decisions, yes or no, man. In everything in life, it's always yes or no. And that's what you just gotta do, is just say yes or no. And it's better to make a mistake, man, than to wait. Okay, it's better to just take the action, make the mistake, and then you get up and you solve the mistake, and then you go on to the next thing. You just got new data, you just learned, and you keep taking more action. It's better to do that than to wait, to try to do the best decision possible. No, man, just take freaking action, just speed. The way to solve these mental loops is with speed, man. For example, with acne. You've probably started having acne a few years ago and you notice, man, holy shit, I need to sort this problem out. And perhaps you tried like some skincare or dermatologist, none of it worked. And deep down, you always knew you had to sort this stuff out. Like your health is not good. You need to solve this. But you just didn't care. And so for these years, you had this mental weight in your mind, like holding you back, slowing you down in whatever you do, because it's always in the back of your head, like I must sort this stuff out, I must get clear skin. And your brain was always telling you when you were insecure, to do a presentation, to speak to a girl, you were always insecure about it. It was your brain telling you, sort this stuff out first, man. What the fuck are you doing? You have this mental loop open of, I must get clear skin, I must sort this problem out. But you haven't freaking closed it. You haven't done the action needed to close this, done the right research on what is actually healthy, not fall for some propaganda, some bullshit. You haven't done that. And so the mental loop is open and it's dragging you down on a day-to-day. You can't start your business and focus on it fully. You can't approach a girl and have a good relationship. Because it's just there. It's the mental loop there. And it's the same thing with anything you have in life. Relationships, business. You find yourself with a problem. There's a better way to go about it. Oh, I'm gonna do it later, whatever. The mental loop is open. 3 months later, you have the same fucking problem. You're like, oh shit, I should have done this already. And it's terrible. Okay, it's terrible, man. And you literally feel like your brain is numb. You look back and you look at your memories and you just see blurriness. It's not like it even happened. It's blurred. Because you didn't actually take the actions. You always kept, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. You don't have a later. There's no such thing as a later. There only is the now, man. And so you need to decide, man, yes or no. Am I going to do this or no? And if it is, I'll do it later, then most likely it is a no, okay? You just kind of have those two options. It's like, yes, I'm going to do this thing right now, or no, I'm not going to do it. That should be your, thought system in a way. Or you just truly have a piece of paper or a notes app, in your notes app, you have this piece of paper where when you get ideas to try new things out, when you get urges to do certain things, imagine you're doing deep work and you suddenly get urged to do something else, oh, I should implement this idea, whatever. Write it down, okay? Write it down on a piece of paper or on your notes app and just have it there. Just forget about it, just write it down. 3 months later, you're sticking with a plan and you find yourself, oh, I should change something up. You go to your bucket of ideas and you get those ideas and you see, does this actually make sense? Or was I just, emotional and inspired at the moment? And that's how you do with drastic changes, okay? This has to do more with drastic changes, that, it requires a lot of effort to make these changes. Because if it is more like small things, let's say like record a YouTube content. You want to use that emotion of like the idea, as soon as you get the idea, the emotion you have behind the idea. And so in that moment, you just decide, what am I doing right now? Does this even matter? Is this better than what I'm doing right now? And if it is, if the new idea is better, then you just drop the other one, you go with the right one, with the most important. And you do it right after, man. You just do it. You gotta move with speed. As they say, money loves speed. So you just gotta move. You move, you fail, you get up, you move, you fail, you get up, and just go, man. There's no waiting. Yes, there may be situations where waiting for the right data, that makes sense. If you know there's data coming up that can be used and that's gonna help, yes, you should wait. But if you already have all the data, then you should just close the mental loop straight up. Like this module right here, I had the idea to record this like 5 days ago. And it was always in the back of my head, like, I gotta record this module. Holy crap, man, I should have just gotten done with it. And right now I could be working on something else. There was a gap of 5 days, man. And when I look back, what did I do in these 5 days? It's like blur. I can't even remember truly. Well, if I had just done this video, I could have remembered, oh, I got the video done. And then I would have gotten the next test done, and the next test done, and the next test done. But no, I just got a blurred vision of like a period of waiting, and then I got the thing done. That's terrible, man. That's how you make sure you live, last 15 years. Because it was always on waiting for just, I'll do it later. It's horrible, man. And so right now, the actionable step is for you to pick a piece of paper and write down every mental loop that you currently have. And this can be from years, man, or months, that you decided to do something else. Like, oh, I must get clear skin. I must, get a six-pack. Like, I know in the back of my head, there is something I must get done because I set it that goal like 3 years ago, but I never actually achieved it, just there, whatever. I know I'm going to do it in the future, whatever. That's all bullshit. Just pick a piece of paper and write everything you open the loop on, a mental loop. Write every single mental loop. And go one by one, man. One by one, solve each and close every mental loop you have. And then you're like a newborn baby, where your mind is fresh. Oh, I have no more crap that I opened up, mental loops. No, I'm fresh. I can do whatever I want at my full capacity because I ain't using my brain power to store random decision process that I never completed from 10 years ago. None of that crap, man. Go get it done. Action is the number one thing. And of course, if you need help with the implementation, like the one-on-one part of it, where I can help you out, then text me on WhatsApp and we'll go on a call and we'll make sure you get it done. The more implementation stuff, not just general advice. But this module was really great, man, in terms of opening the mind for the mental loops, because they are taking us brain points. Instead of you waking up with 300 brain points, you wake up with 200 because of the mental capacity being wasted on those mental loops. So close all the mental loops. Don't let it open, man. Everything that you have, like taking the trash out, washing the dishes, cleaning up my room, whatever it is, bro, write it down. That you said, oh, I'm gonna do it later as soon as you wake up. That's bullshit. You just left the mental loop, and you are literally getting more work for your future self. You're feeling comfortable in the now, so your future self, is freaking cooked. That's basically what it is. So you must sacrifice in the now for your future self in the future, man. For your future self to thrive. Okay. So take action. That's the only thing that matters, man. A lot of manifestation, yes, it is needed to have intention behind the actions you do, but none of it will happen without the action. And so you must move with speed, man. Speed at all times. You might find yourself in a situation where the best move, the most uncomfortable thing you could do right now that would give you the most growth would be like to move out of your parents' house and go to this country like Bali and build your business there because you don't have a good environment. But because you're at school, let's say, because you don't have the money, the parents are against whatever, it's been years or months where you had this goal, but it hasn't been done, and the mental loop is just there. And you fucking know, man, how terrible that is. Like on a day-to-day, people like put crap in front of you and you're like, no, this isn't my number one priority. It should be to travel, but I can't travel right now. So I gotta get distracted by this. And you do that certain thing, like studying for school, let's say, which isn't your thing. And you study like super numb, looking at the books where you can study and just randomly watch content and jerk off and just to numb the pain. That's because of the mental loop that was never closed. When you got the craving to just move the fuck out and get out of this place, it should be done. And yes, you have school and you should finish whatever, but the universe does not care, the universe does not care. The universe just cares about action. And that's like a prison you put it yourself in, following certain timelines. I can only do this certain thing after this. I can only do that after this. That's like a prison you put in yourself. The only thing that is real is action. Action. Speed. Fall, get up. Take action, man. Like I've invested in mentors and programs that, to be honest, I got scammed. But guess what? I don't care. I just kept going. I was in this mentor where I got scammed pretty much. And there were people in the group chat like gathering up like, oh, let's go against this dude. Like he kind of scammed us because he isn't giving us one-on-one support. And I was like, bro, who the fuck cares? I'm not going to waste my time for like, this amount of money. I can just keep going, take more action for my goals, and I will make the money back. Who cares? I'm a man of action. It's like, And it, of course, it's the law of reverse effort. If you try to save up money, like, oh, I can't, let me search up like crazy for 10 hours the best, shoes to buy, the cheapest one. Guess what? I could just, buy the one I like screw it, just buy this one, the first one I see and I like, and therefore I can then, focus on something else. And while I focused on my work, later I made the money back that I could have saved up from the shoes. You just gotta focus on the top priority thing, man. Less is more, and close all the mental loops, okay? And make sure that your environment is a place where you can have the best mental loops as possible. So, like, having somebody to take out your trash, or cooking for you, or you have already meal plans set up, so you don't have those mental loops, man. It all comes down from what we talked, like time management, creating the routine on the Google Calendar, brain points management. All of that is gonna help you with the mental loops. But right now, the actionable step is for you to write every mental loop and go sort it out, man. That's it. Go sort out every single mental loop. Just go take action one by one. Just do it, okay?
Let's talk about time management. And after you watch this guide, you will never be able to say, I don't have time, I had a busy week, I can do a 1 hour call. I didn't watch this guide which has all the answers to my problems because, I didn't have time going through a lot. You will never be able to say those excuses again, man. Because they are excuses. If we go through your screen time in your phone, it's most likely 3 hours, 5 hours. So you do have the time. You're just not managing it well. You're not prioritizing the right things and you're wasting your goddamn time, man. So let's sort this program out. So first thing we gotta understand is that time is not real. And we have talked about this. Time is not real. The only thing that is real is the right now. And a lot of the times we think that, oh, in 3 months from now, man, once I quit this job, once I get out of this situation, once, this happens, school ends, whatever, life is gonna be perfect. I'm finally gonna have time to do the things I want to do, and I'm gonna achieve all my goals, all my dream life, man. I will finally be able to do it. That's completely bullshit, man. That's bullshit, and that's an excuse your mind is using so you don't feel like crap and frustrated because you're slacking. You're spending time scrolling, falling back. You're just saying, oh, in the future, I will be able to. You're just taking the responsibility out of yourself, putting it in your future self so you feel good in the right now. And just like that, you'll stay stuck in the same place, man. Because things will simply not change. In a few months, there will be something else. And it's not even actually real, this. We think it takes time to achieve something, but it doesn't. For example, let's say you have struggled with acne for 4 years, man. 4 years. And you finally know, you finally realize what's been holding you back. What are the things destroying your mitochondria? You watch my channel, my YouTube, and you find the right information. So just like that, you get clear skin in, by eating the right diets, right lifestyle, right habits. You get clear skin in 4 months, let's say, or 3 months. And just like that, in your mind, you're gonna say, oh, to get clear skin, it took me freaking almost 5 years. And so in your mind, you think that it takes 5 years to get clear skin, but no, it just really took those 3 months. And it didn't even took those 3 months. That's the truth. It didn't took those 3 months. It took the action behind those 3 months, which was like 200 healthy meals, 200, let's say 5,000 hours in the sun. And it was the actions that actually got you the results, not the 3 months. It's like you posted 300 videos on YouTube for 3 years. And so in your mind, you think, and you got 1 million followers. Okay, with this, you got 1 million followers. And so you think, okay, I got 1 million followers. It took me 3 years. No, it didn't took you 3 years. It took you 300 videos. And if you had gotten these 300 videos with the same quality, the same intention in 3 months, man, you would have gotten 1 million followers in 3 months. Because the universe is simply cause and effect. That's the only thing the universe cares about. It doesn't care about time. It just cares about you do the action or you don't do the action. If you're, resting and you're slacking, the universe doesn't care. The universe just cares about, oh, you did action or you didn't the action. If you're slacking, if you're doing nothing, the universe simply will reward you for doing nothing. It's cause and effect. It's as simple as that, man. And so you just need to understand what actions will get me the result, and then the faster you do these actions, bam, the faster you get the result. It's as simple as that. And of course, you gotta use momentum to your advantage, which we talk about in other modules. And so let's talk about how to actually, manage your time so you can apply these actions on a day to day, stay consistent to them and not fall back. Because the main issue people go through is that they don't organize their time. One day they post a video, let's say, or they eat clean one day, they do the actions good one day, then the next day they don't do them. And this way it takes them double the time or triple or 5 times the time to achieve the results because they don't have momentum. Momentum is built when you do things every single day and you build leverage, man. But people aren't able to stick with this. And so just like that, the first thing you want to do is open Google Calendar. Okay, Google Calendar is the best in terms of having a vision like in front of you. It's not just abstract in your mind. No, you have a clear structure. And so let's say you are going to go to bed 8 p.m. man. to have a good circadian rhythm. 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's your goal. Okay, 8 p.m. You just come over here, you click, and you create the block. 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. and you put sleep, just like that. Okay, this set at my. Let's create a new calendar then. Calendar. Create new calendar. Let's put 2026. Let's go. Create a new calendar. I want you to do this with me right now. Okay, create a new calendar. So now you go to your calendar. Okay, 2026. Bam, let's create. So go to bed at 8 p.m. for a good circadian rhythm. Wake up at, let's put 5 a.m. Okay, 5 a.m. Sleep. Bam, sleep. And just like that, we then put this on every day. So we click here, we go here every day. And just like that, we have sleep. Okay, so from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m., that's sleep. Non-negotiable, man. Then we want to have our meal, the best is 4 hours before bed. So around, let's say, 4 p.m. we have let's say 6 p.m. we had our last meal. Okay, so 6 p.m. we have a meal here, meal. And this is gonna be something you repeat every day. You have the meal here every day. And then before bed, out here you have a winding down routine. So you put like reading, you read, you socialize, with your family, having dinner with them or with friends. Bam, this is your winding down routine to avoid, messing up your circadian rhythm so you have the best productivity in the morning. And you can set colors, of course, for a more aesthetic look, just like this. Bam, bam. Okay. So you can set it up for every. Okay, not sure that didn't work. Okay. We come over here, bam, every event, just like that. So we change the color for every event. And so we have over here, meal at this time, read, social, sleep. And then, after I woke up at 5 a.m., we want to do our quick morning routine, which is going outside, watching the sunrise, getting our push-ups. So reading, our Bible verse, your morning routine, taking a cold shower, just to wake yourself up and put yourself in the right frequency right there. You put the morning routine and then you get straight into deep work. You do your top priority, 4 hours in the morning, you do deep work and you do your highest level test for your business, for your self-development. That can be going to the gym if that's your top priority goal. And so you get it done. You eat the frog. That's what we call. We eat the frog, and then you have your meal here. After you've gotten some deep work, you get like a nice healthy meal. Bam, meal, and then you go to the gym. You know, gym, and then you can have another meal here as a post-workout, and then you record some content, or you go, on some adventures with your friends, or most likely you have a job. So maybe you can't really do it like this. Perhaps you have to end the deep work at 8 a.m., which isn't, that good, but you still got the deep work before work, okay? Which is, for your business, the most important part. You do not want to do it after work when you're already tired, you wasted all your mental resources in the work, man. You want to do it as soon as you wake up, the most important thing of your day. And then you get your meal, and then you have your job, and then after job, you immediately go to the gym, let's say for 5 p.m. You immediately go to the gym because you do not want to, you know, feel have that tiredness getting home when you're on the couch, none of that. You immediately go to the gym as soon as work is done. So you take your gym bag to work and you just go work to the gym straight up. Then you have your meal, then you're winding down routine, then you sleep, you wake up early as hell, you get deep work done, and you repeat, man. And this is how you make sure you get your freaking work done. You come over here and you edit your routine, 50 push-ups, cold shower, watch the sunrise, and you just have everything set it up, man. You set the routine and you can edit this certain days. You have certain specific tasks. Let's say on Wednesday, it's your calls day. So you have calls every day at Wednesday. So this is call day. And you set the calls. You can link your Calendly to book calls and then put over here. And then Friday, let's say it's a day where you record content. It's more specific for that. And then you set it up, man. And then Saturday is like scripting. And you batch all the tasks you gotta do together. So just like that, you are able to get everything in the week. Your goal should be do all the tasks in the week. Perhaps you have a job. Perhaps you have a lot of things going on. So you can't do everything at once. Like you can do all the habits in the world in one day. But guess what? You can batch them and do them like on Thursday. Like Thursday is the day of like recording content. Then Wednesday is the day of scripting all the videos and editing all the videos. And just like that, you're able to get the 7 videos which you said you are gonna do for the week in in the week. You got them done in just 2 days. And then the rest of the days you can use them for other stuff. That's how you do it, man. You gotta be able to batch all the tests you gotta do. You have one day where it's like social life, and you just go this day on this adventure right there. And then this way you don't have like every day, oh, I gotta be social today, I gotta do the workout crazy, I gotta do martial arts this day, I gotta do that. Like you're trying to do everything in one day, of course not gonna work. So you need to have specific days for things like, okay, Thursday I want to do martial arts, Thursday is gonna be martial arts day. And that's just to maintain my skill of martial arts. Because if my true goal was to win a fight, then I'd make sure that I remove everything else, like even going to the gym, the social life. I'd kind of remove that and replace that with martial arts. I'd make sure I record content in the martial arts scene. I'd make everything around my top one goal. That's how you do it, and that's what you gotta do here, man. I'm gonna show you my personal calendar. I believe I have here. Yeah, this right here is pretty much what I followed. Sleep. I then wake up, do my morning routine, work on YouTube, meditate, cold shower, go to school, get a reel while I'm in a recess, so edit a YouTube short. Then I meditate, eat some eggs, record, do boxing, train, eat, analyze things, go to bed. I no longer follow this one, but I follow more a routine like I mentioned here, okay? And where I go to bed very early, 8 p.m., to then wake up at 5 a.m. with no issues. So go make your routine right now, man. No excuses. Set everything up. After you have, of course, your goals set it up, the habits needed in order to achieve those goals, you then just put everything into a Google Calendar and just follow through. You turn your brain off and just follow through. And each day, before you go to bed, you come over here. Let's say that, things are different. You have different calls. Like, it's not going to be everything. It's like the task is the same, but the things inside the task aren't. So, for example, on your calls, you write, the calls you're going to have. So, call with John, call with Mike, and then you wake up. Oh, what do I have to do today? Okay, call with John, call with Mike. That's it. And what content I have to record? Oh, I have to record this amount of content, like that you wrote over here, that you had scripted the day before. Or what meals am I going to have? You also prepare them on the day before. You have the meals written over here. And you want to keep it pretty much the same every week if you're able to. So you don't have that mental, resources, wasting mental resources to prepare your week and everything. No, you already have everything set up. You lock the hell in for 3 months, just following the same routine. No changing, man. Just stick with it. And for a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks in a row, let's say you feel like something is off, you aren't getting the work done, something's going wrong, then you can make changes. But don't make changes randomly, man. Just stick with the goddamn plan, stick with the routine, and follow through, and you will achieve your goals. It's as simple as that. So go take action, go make your routine, man, and stick with it. Once you have a routine and specific objective goal, and then the habits, the tasks needed to achieve the goal, you create a routine, you follow the routine, you achieve the goal. There's no magic behind achieving something. It's as simple as this. It's having a specific priority goal. You refuse all the distractions. You stick with the habits you gotta do. You do the calendar. You follow the routine, and you achieve the result. Like it's impossible not to. So make sure the routine is enjoyable but uncomfortable at the same time, and you're always on track. No time slots to scroll and just slack off. You can have a bit of a rest, like winding down routine, socializing, reading. That's your resting time right there, man. You shouldn't be scrolling or watching video games and none of that. So go take action, go make the routine.
Let's go through 13 principles that you must have in order to have your mind in the right place, to do the right actions, to achieve clear skin, high energy, and aesthetic physique, and literally anything in life. Because I got this knowledge from a sales program that I invested over 3,000 bucks in. And just like that, in the first thing we do on a sales program is rewire your mind. We make sure you get rid of all your limiting beliefs and you have the right mental frameworks in your mind. Therefore, you do the right actions and you don't end up self-sabotaging yourself. If you have limiting beliefs in there, you will always fall back. And so in this video, I'm going to show you what are the right mental models so you can literally just know the blueprint of what it takes to achieve success in any area, like health, like business. That's why I'm showing you this, because this translates to any area, man. I pick this from sales and I'm applying it into health too. So first of all, principle one, we have pain. Emotions can build or destroy. We all have pain. It doesn't have to be extreme, it's relative. Pain equals reality. Most people hide or run from pain/reality, but if you face it, you can harness it and direct it anywhere. When you do, you will hit your own "I don't want to live like this anymore" moment, which is the beginning to make a change. So every great person that you study that has achieved greatness, they always had a fuck this moment, which was that moment of so much pain they could not tolerate it anymore, where everything changed. To me, it was me sitting on a bus and I sit down and I hear these people laughing at me, and I'm like, why are they laughing, dude? Then I lift myself and I touch the freaking seat and it smells like piss. And I'm completely wet in my pants. And that couldn't be even worse because I literally just spent 8 hours at freaking school went 1 hour buzz, then coming back 1 hour back, could not feel more depressed in that moment. And that was my fuck this moment. That's when I started working the hardest. Just like that, you need to use pain as fuel. And pain equals reality. Often life isn't, all of the perfect thing we wanted. Even if, let's say, you are rich, you have everything in life, still life won't be perfect at all. Like, your supercar randomly just breaks down, you have random people, family members asking you for money, like they don't care about you, they just care about your money, fake relationships, all that stuff. There's always going to be pain in life, man. It's part of it. And it's completely relative if it's like extreme on how you see it. Like, a person that's making 100,000 bucks a month, suddenly they drop to, let's say, 2,000 bucks, and they're panicking, like, oh my god, I'm broke. While a person who was making zero makes 2K, and suddenly it's like the best thing in the world. So it's going to be relative. So you must be precise with what is your pain, what are you going through, and turn this into fuel. Then, principle two, extreme ownership. Once you leverage your pain to create change, you have to own every aspect of your life, the good and the bad, the past, present, and future. It's all your fault and responsibility. If it's your fault and responsibility, you have control over it. If you have control, you can change it. And that is good, because if you don't have control or the capacity to change, what do you think will happen? You will stay the same because no one is coming to save you. So you must have extreme ownership, of course. Everything is your fault, everything is your responsibility. Even if somebody steals from you, it's still your fault. You could have been more cautious, you could have done things differently, and right now you have the power to completely change your life. This is the first day of the rest of your entire life. So you decide what you want to do with the rest of your life. Then commitment to change. This is the principle three. You've leveraged your pain. You've taken ownership / control of your life and results. Now it's time to burn the ships. Burning the ships is a declaration of total commitment. It means eliminating all escape routes, removing the option of failure, and making success the only possible outcome. Cut ties with old habits, excuses, people who don't serve you, or fallback options. Go all in. That's what it means. And you might listen to this and think, oh, burn the boats. Okay, cool. If that is what you're thinking, you won't win. This is a psychological and strategic move. When you remove the safety net, you unlock a level of commitment, resourcefulness, and intensity that wouldn't emerge otherwise. There is no skipping this step. This is not something you add. No, this is subtracting what is not helping you to achieve your goals. So you may have a backup option, let's say with your business of like going to college. Man, that's the reason why you haven't built it and scaled your business, because you feel like it's your safest net. And as humans, we tend to go for the safest option. We tend to. It's like, if you have the opportunity to to stay at home, you most likely are going to do that instead of going to boxing gym practice, or signing up for that marathon. That's what is most likely going to happen. So just like that, you need to make that the easiest option. The survival need is a higher standard stuff. So you live at your parents' house, you can make $0 per month if you're living there. Now, if you move out and you pay rent every month, which is like 2K, now your baseline is to make 2K. Like, you're not going to allow yourself to become homeless, right? So your baseline is going to be 2K there. That's what you need to do. You need to cut down the plan Bs and just have the full commitment to change them. And just cut down everything that's been holding you back. Everything that is from your past life, you cut it out. That's why moving out of your house, moving out of the country is such a great thing. Then time travel. You might think it's not possible, but it is. You've leveraged your pain, you're taking ownership and control of your life, you've burned the ships and removed anything that could stop you from succeeding. Now what? Well, you can either pay with time or with money to get to your goal. And so if you know somebody that has achieved your results, you want clear skin, I personally achieved that, I can help you. I have already built the structure and helped hundreds of clients to achieve that. You can just follow this simple process and achieve clear skin. Or you can go through the time that I spent, which was 5 years of struggling with acne. You can try everything like I did and, pay with time. Or you pay with money. Money is literally time. And so why would I be, sacrificing something that is super limited, which is time, for something that is infinite? Money is goddamn infinite. They print it out of thin air. Why am I going to sacrifice like 5 years for some piece of infinity stuff when time is super precious and limited? And literally, money is a reflection of time. Then the athlete's mentality. You've leveraged your pain, you're taking ownership and control of your life, you've burned the ships and removed anything that could stop you from succeeding, you've time traveled by trading your money for others' lessons and time. At this point, you either A, won't see results yet and stop trying, or B, start seeing results and take your foot off the gas. These are the two things that happen. And an athlete doesn't do that. An athlete says, fuck that. You need to adopt an athlete's mentality. Here's a shortcut. Pretend you are Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. If you don't know them, then go study. They are really good athletes. And even after multiple NBA championships, individual awards, or even setbacks, they never lowered their intensity or focus. You have to turn pro and be relentlessly focused on your goals. Do not waver. If you see some progress, you do not fucking stop. You just focus on the results. If you don't see results, you do not fucking stop. You just keep going. Your main goal should be to focus on the work, not the results. If you focus on the work, the results will appear no matter what. So just do the work, and Your happiness should be coming from the work you do, not the results. Then, mental model. Anchor this belief as your foundation. Everyone has the same exact same internal resources needed to get their outcome they desire. And they find your current language, beliefs, and behaviors that contradict this. You need to referentially analyze your map of the world and how you are distorting it and bottlenecking on your growth. So essentially, everybody has the same internal resources. We are all human beings. Yes, I may live in a different house, you may live in another house, another country, but still, you have the same internal resources. So if I have a goal, you have the same chance of achieving the goal as me. You have, because you are a human, you have the same internal resources. And so, if you are speaking in a way which is limiting, like, oh, I have these genetics, these bad genetics, I can't do it. That's a freaking bullshit. That's bullshit. You have the same internal resources, man. Because you are a human just like me. You have a brain, you have a heart, you have energy inside of you. You can do it. There has been amounts of proof. There are people with no legs who can swim. There are people with dementia or something that win great awards in science and everything. So you have the same internal resources, man. There are no excuses. And every time you find somebody that goes against this belief, which is the foundation, you just correct them. You analyze, why are they thinking this way? Is genetics really their motive? Why they're fat? Why they have acne? No, it's not. That is bullshit. It's contradicting this foundational belief. It's a limiting belief, what you're saying. This is the right belief. And even if this wasn't the right belief, believing this will only help you. So why not believe it? Then the winners lead by example. This is called going first. It means you need to conquer your own fears and beliefs before you can help others conquer their fears and beliefs. Like we just spoke about, you have to look within first and see how your map of reality is limiting you. Once you do this, you can help others do the same. So, of course, you must take the example. You cannot help people if you haven't done it yourself. And for example, let's look at, you're in Central Park in New York, and you are in the middle of a street. You think that the Central Park is only that. Okay, the Central Park is only these trees. I only see this orange tree. Let's say there's only orange trees in this park. No, because if you zoom out, if you went like with a drone and you saw the entire park, you could see that there is a part where there's orange trees, and there's also like one with green and one with blue and one with yellow. And just like that, that's how you make sure you aren't falling for your own facades. You must see the entire map, not just your view, because you are just seeing reality from your view. Imagine you have 1,000 bucks in your account. You might think, oh man, I'm really poor right now, bro. Oh my god, I don't have 1,000, bro. I'm screwed for life. What's going on? You're just seeing that part of the map. What you just see right now is orange trees. But if you zoom out and you see the entire map, you can see there's billions of money around you. Billions. There's goddamn billions everywhere. That house 500,000, that other house 500,000, 800,000, and then you look at your chair, that's 300 bucks. Your desk 500 bucks. You could sell them right now. You could get instantly 1,000 bucks right there. You can see thousands of business opportunities around you. It's fully in your responsibility there, and you gotta see the entire map, not just your own limitations. Principle 8: you don't know the real game you're playing. Imagine stepping into a UFC fight with no training. Your opponent is trained, experienced, and knows all the rules. You're walking around like a confused child about to get knocked the fuck out. That's what you need to understand about achieving clear skin, holistic health, high energy. You don't know the game you're playing. You think that it's gonna come down to eating this certain diet, these certain foods. But guess what? You have already tried it. And so you're just gonna keep doing it. And you're gonna get knocked the fuck out. You're entering in the UFC cage trying to achieve this goal of clear skin, but you don't know the game you're playing, you're gonna get knocked the fuck out. You must see the entire map. You must have all the factors needed to achieve this goal. If you just go with your intuition, like, oh, instincts, I've tried this in the past, I've seen this video on Reels, I've seen that, you don't have the entire map. You don't know the skills, you don't have experience enough, you are going to get knocked the fuck out. That's what happens. That's why you can't fix acne. That's why you can't fully heal and achieve your goals. There is no clocking in and clocking out. Every single second of your life is and has always been constant competition, and competition exists whether or not you choose to acknowledge it. So you might think, oh, I can slack off, I can eat some junk food and get some acne. Guess what? The beautiful girl that could have been your wife, you might see her tomorrow. And because you got a new pimple, you're a bit insecure to go approach her. And just like that, some other dude approaches her. Some dude that can be a lot dumber than you, he goes approach her and he gets her and he marries her. And just like that, you lost the beautiful wife you wanted. This is life, man. Everything is a competition, and you might not be aware of it, but it is. The job you're in, if you weren't there, somebody else would be. So you're taking the job from somebody else. It's competition. The money you have in the bank could be in somebody else's bank. It's competition. Everything is competition, and you must be aware of that. When you're slacking, somebody else is outworking you. Then principle 9, you can always rationalize inaction. Raw action solves it all. Life comes down to two things, action and inaction. You either act or you don't. Your brain will always rationalize inaction, tricking you into believing some perfect condition must be met before you move. Once this happens, once school ends, once this job ends, once I get that, once I have this money, then I'll start. Once XYZ is in place, then I'll be ready. We always freaking rationalize inaction. But this cycle never ends. Excuses and hesitation doesn't just stop progress, they compound like that. Right now, you're buried in inaction, hesitation debt, excuse debt, and perfectionism debt. So if you're in a position which you do not like, you are literally in debt right now. You are in debt because you have made excuses, you kept falling into bad habits, you are in hesitation debt because you didn't do the action, and you're also in perfectionism debt. Then hesitation is the greatest threat to your life and goals. The more you hesitate, the more you reinforce weaknesses. And you don't just stay neutral, you actively move away from what you want. And there's only one way out: action. Action is the only way out. Even if you make a mistake, good, you get up and you keep going. When you freeze, when you stop, when you are just rationalizing inaction, making excuses, that's when you're getting in debt. And it's terrible. Then, speed of execution wins. Think of a plane. They weigh around 1 million pounds. And how does gravity not pull them down? How do they not fall from the sky? Because they are moving too fast to fall. You have to become like a plane. Move too fast to fall, too fast to fail. How to win? Action wins. Action at speed. The time between A, when you know how to do something, and B, when you do it, equals success. So being smart comes down to getting a new information, getting a new insight, and applying it as soon as possible. The faster you apply the new information, the smarter you are. That's the definition of being smart. It's not by memorizing stuff. And so speed always wins, man. Speed. This is why you see 20 years old who have achieved so much more than 50 years old, because they took speed and they got the compound effect. While the other 50-year-old just, oh, here and there I'm a work a bit on my business and make some workout here, workout once a week. They aren't acting with speed. Therefore, the plane can't sustain the momentum to stay in the sky. No, it's gonna freaking fall. This is how a plane stays up, man. Then, you want to lose? Start tomorrow. If you want to win, start today. Even Alex Hormozy says it, man. How to stay poor? Start tomorrow. How to stay poor? Wait for perfect conditions. First mover advanced. Principle 12. I heard the story about a live event a few months ago. The speaker walks onto the stage holding five bills: a $100, $50, $20, $10, and a $5. He says nothing, just holds the $100. Everyone leans forward. Then he calls five people on stage. No explanation, just stands there holding the bills out in front of them. And still no one moves. Everyone froze, watching, thinking, is this part of the presentation? Maybe he'll tell us what to do now. Then one guy steps up and grabs the $100. The room shifts. Another rushes forward, grabs the 50, then the 20, then the 10. By the time the last guy moves, there's only $5. The crowd laughs at him. And then the speaker drops the hammer. You're laughing at the guy who made $5, but how much did you make? Silence. Exactly, you made nothing because you watched, you waited, you hesitated. And then he said the line that intrigued itself into the brain. So just like that, this hit really hard, where if you freeze, if you don't take action, that's when you get screwed. The world doesn't reward the smartest, it rewards the fastest. That was the sentence. You want a $100 outcome, but stall, analyze, need more time, and by the time you move, the $100 is gone. So is the 50. Now there's $5 left. Maybe you grab it, maybe you wait again. Either way, the upside is gone. You laugh at the guy with $5, but miss the brutal truth. The truth, he won, you didn't. What's the takeaway? The takeaway is that if you wait, you're gonna get wrecked. You must take action and be the first one to arrive. The first mover advantage. In any competition system, first to move captures highest margin. Every second you wait, the reward pool shrinks. Even imperfect action outspaces perfect hesitation. You don't lose by failing, you lose by freezing. Speed is the edge, action is the filter, and the reward always belongs to the first one through the door. I've seen it time and time again. I talk with people who say, oh, I'm gonna build this channel and make money online. And then I tell them, okay, post your video today, post your first video. And then they make some excuse, oh, I can't, I still need to buy this camera, I need to make this happen. And then a few months later, they haven't started and they'll never start their YouTube channel. Just like that, this is the exact same thing with the $5 bill. The guy who doesn't move doesn't get anything. The guy who just posts randomly is the one who wins. The guy just takes raw goddamn action. And if you're the first one to get there, you will get the most rewards. Principle 13. Move the penny. Imagine squinting one eye and holding a penny up to your open eye. Imagine someone in front of you holds a $100 bill, but you can't see it because of the penny. A penny held too close to your eye will block your vision of the $100 bill sitting right behind it. Same principle applies in life. You're not held by a lack of opportunity, you're held back because your attention is hijacked by something insignificant. The penny equals your fears, your doubts, your past. The $100 equals the opportunity in front of you. The block equals proximity, not reality. So move the penny. The eye sees what it focuses on. Focus creates perception. Perception creates behavior. Behavior creates outcome. So what happens when your perception is built around a microscopic problem? You ignore the $100 for the penny. You optimize for the wrong thing. You stay stuck. Most people don't need more opportunity. They need someone to say, move the penny. So what is the penny in your life right now? What is the thing that is blocking you from the $100 bill? Perhaps you might be working at this job and you're seeing the penny. That's all you're seeing. I need this $1,000 at the end of the month. I need you need to focus and solve your health issues, but you're focusing on the money, the penny. When if you focus on the $100, which is your health, sorting that out, you get a lot more. So you have the penny in front of you, just focusing on that. You're getting wrecked, man. You gotta move the penny. Move the goddamn penny in front of you. And it takes a lot of uncomfortability because in your mind, all you know because of your perception is the penny, and that has been your comfort zone. So moving the penny will be uncomfortable, and that's going to be the hard truth you need to face. So recap: Principle one, pain. Leverage your pain as a catalyst for change. Principle two, extreme ownership. Take control of your past, present, and future. Principle three, commit to change. Burn the ships and remove what doesn't help you achieve your goal. Principle four, try time travel. Exchange your money for others' lessons and time. Principle 5, at-risk mentality. Develop relentless intensity and focus towards your goals. Principle 6, mental model. Remove any distortions in your map of reality that is contradicting what you want. Remember, everyone has the exact same internal resources needed to get the outcome they desire. Principle 7, winners lead by example. Go first, then serve others. Principle 8, understand you are in an ultra-competitive game called life and frame yourself accordingly. Raw action solves all. You can always rationalize inaction. Action is not the absence of fear, but the courage to move through it. Principle 10. Speed of execution wins. The time between A, when you know how to do something, when you know to do something, and B, when you do it, equals success. Speed. Principle 11. If you want to lose, start tomorrow. If you want to win, start today. Principle 12. First mover advantage. The world doesn't reward the smartest, it rewards the fastest. Principle 13. Move the penny. You're not held back by a lack of opportunity. You're held back because your attention is hijacked by your fears, doubts, and past. Just like that, which principle did you find most valuable? This is going to be different for everybody because most likely the one you find most valuable is the one that you need to go towards the most. It's the one you're avoiding the most. So which one is it? Write it down on a piece of paper and go face it, man. Then, actionable steps for this module, man. Step 1. Declare to the universe today that every single thing in your life, past, present, future, is your fault and your responsibility. So, if you are committed and you want to declare to the universe, go into the description right now and comment or post in the community. I declare to the universe today that every single thing in my life, past, present, future, is my fault and responsibility. Go comment that in the description because when you make this something public, you have a lot more accountability to stick to this. And then come back 3 months from now and see if you stick to it or not. Then step number 2, declare to the universe today that you will analyze every single belief and story and only keep the ones that give you power, while disgrading what disempowers you. Any limiting belief that you have, you eliminate it. And the most common ones I'll show in just a second. Step 3, commit to taking raw action at speed today. Imperfect, directional, correct action. Move through the penny, fears, doubts, past, and take action in spite of those things. So just like that, go comment in the description also, in the comments, go comment that you declare this to the universe, that you will not let the penny get in front of you also. Go comment that, go make that public. Now let's go through some common limiting beliefs that I see all the time. And these are the limiting beliefs of people that never achieve clear skin, high energy. I see it with my own eyes. People that tell me this stuff, few months later, like 5 months later, 6 months later, they're at the same spot or even worse. And now they're begging for change when they could have already gotten clear skin if they hadn't listened to their limiting beliefs. If they had moved the penny, you know? Number 1, I already have a coach. Until you address the real bottleneck, your identity, your beliefs, your daily decisions, no external strategy will move the needle. You must face the actual problem. If you don't face the actual problem, it doesn't matter the coach on your side. Then you'll keep downloading tactics on top of the same operating system because it doesn't matter if you use framework A, framework B, or coach C, or coach D. If you're still thinking like the old version of you, you'll just keep building the same results with different tools. This isn't about replacing your coach, it's about becoming the type of person who gets the result independent of coaches, frameworks, or tactics. That's what we train, that's why it works. You know, that's exactly why we focus here. We give you all the tools and frameworks to get the perfect health. So you can then fix any health issue on your own, man. You're not dependent on following this certain diet and then you go out, you go traveling and you miss the diet and you have acne again. That's not what we do here. We focus on healing this from the root cause so it never comes back. And so it doesn't matter if you already have invested in this community, in this coach. If you don't have the result, who the hell cares? The universe doesn't care, man. The universe only cares about cause and effect. You do the right action, you get the result. That's simple. And so you must face the actual bottleneck, your identity, your beliefs, your daily decisions that are keeping you stuck with acne, brain fog, acid reflux, all these issues. Limiting belief too. It sounds great. I would totally join. It's just a money logistic issues. You know what it is. No, I don't know how it is. You don't have a money problem. You have a do what it takes problem. You know, sales reps, the ones in sales are the best ones at hiding behind money logistics objections. That's what they usually give out. Oh, I don't have money. Oh, I have to pay this stuff. Why? Because it's an easy cope out for low agency weak people. You probably believe I want to join XYZ mentorship, but I don't have the money. It's just logistics. No, don't lie. That's not the reality. I'm not willing to get comfortable, risk rejection, or get resourceful to find the money. This is what's real. This is what's really happening. This is reality. You're not comfortable. You're not willing to get uncomfortable or get risk rejection or get resourceful to find the money. Because if you truly wanted it, you could sell something. You could sell your PS4, the Xbox you have, which is things that I've done in order to invest in mentors and coaches to fix my own health. You can always make it happen. It just comes down to how committed you are. And your priorities are clearly to stay comfortable with acne and not find the uncomfortable reason and resources to get the money to invest in yourself. Then, what is money? Let's sort this out. What is money? Money is a tool of exchange. It represents stored value or prior value creation. It's not fixed. People get more all the time by creating value or leveraging existing resources. What does not having money actually mean? You don't currently have that stored value in your bank account. You could access it through selling something, borrowing, asking, finding a short-term gig, cutting something out, partnering with someone. This is what money actually is. And so when you give this excuse, it's totally wrong because money is a tool of value. Right now, you don't have that value stored, but guess what? You have some type of value to give, to provide to somebody. So if you provide that value, they will give you money in return. So you do have money because money is value. If you have value, I'm sure you have. If you provide that value to somebody, you get the money. It's that simple. So the excuse of I don't have money, it's a logistic problem, that's not actually something real because money is a tool of exchange. So just like that, we covered everything that it takes to literally have the successful mind frame to achieve any goal you want. If you do not apply all these beliefs in your own mind and you reinforce them on a day-to-day, man, it will be very hard for you to achieve anything in life, whether it's, with your business, with achieving health, thriving in your day to day, getting the woman of your dreams. It's going to be very hard. So just like that, man, take action. What are the limiting beliefs that I mentioned here that you are using to avoid yourself to invest in the right program, in the right tools to get to your goals? Now that you know that, you can now fix it. See you in the next one, my man. Let's go. Book a call in the description if you're actually serious about getting clear skin and fixing all your health issues for good, man. By fixing the root cause, not by hiding it with some skincare or some goddamn dermatologist soy pills, some nonsense. None of that. We actually fix by getting rid of your limiting beliefs, ending self-sabotage, ending your past identity which was keeping you back, so you can do the right actions now to fix your health. That's simple. If you don't fix the root cause, you'll always keep falling back and self-sabotage.
Hey guy, what's up, brother? I wanted to thank you so much because before I actually started working with you, I used to struggle with acne for like 2 to 3 years. I would try to go to the dermatologist. I would try to quit fat. I would try so many stuff that I would see on social media. I would do all the research in the world, and I would still wouldn't be able to have a clear acne like I have now. Like I'm not perfect, but I've gotten so much better because of the knowledge that I acquired from getting on call one-on-one with you. You actually made me a plan based on my lifestyle. I travel a lot, so sometimes it's hard for me to be on a specific diet of food, and you actually helped me to, feel more confident because bro, my acne before back then was terrible. You can see a photo, and nowadays I'm here in Miami. I'm able to go to dinners with entrepreneurs. I'm able to network with high level people who make 8 figures a year. I'm here in Miami. I'm able to go to dinners with entrepreneurs. I'm able to network with high level people who make 8 figures a year. And I feel very confident to do that because I've been able to improve my skin, improve my health. And I'm so grateful because I wouldn't have been able to know what I know before actually getting in contact with you. All the things that people say on social media nowadays, it didn't work for me until I actually started talking to you and you guided me through the right path. So I wanted to thank you so much, brother. You gave me a lot of results and it's impacted my personal and business and professional life. Thank you.
My name is Raul and I'm 20 years old. I started training 6 months ago. I didn't stick with it for long because I got lack of motivation. I stopped going to the gym until I came across Dewey on Instagram. I sent him a message and he completely changed my life. He gave me training schedules, nutrition tips, and he boosted my confidence. And that in only 6 months. I've been consistent and motivated for 6 months right now, and it has completely changed my life. Thank you really much.
I was able to help my man Ricardo and Raul to implement the information that we went over on this course and so much more. Because at the end of the day, information without implementation is pretty useless. And that's why I focus so much on creating a clear structure and systems for my clients for them to achieve their goals. This is the one-on-one dashboard with Ricardo. Every week we have a one-on-one call where we look at the data from last week. Where did he miss? What habits did he screwed up in? And what were the good things he did so we can double down on them? And we look at where do we have the most leverage in. So if your diet is already locked in, perhaps you're still under artificial light, you have tech abuse, always using technology, and that's messing up your mitochondria. Therefore, you can have acne because of that. We focus on where we have the most leverage so you can achieve your results. But we are able to see where you have the most leverage based on data. Without the data, we can't do that. And that's why we have these clear structures where we set weekly goals and we track everything. Of course, I am always there for one-on-one support. My man Ricardo had a lot of questions, and because he's constantly traveling, his diet can change a lot. I answered all these questions over here on WhatsApp, and I even made a full guide, 30 minutes just for him, answering things like what skincare products he should be using, because he was using all this stuff which I do not promote, and you should not be using it. And he was also asking me what hair products he should use because he has curly hair, but then he clogs his pores in his forehead. And of course, diet plans. and lifestyle routines based on his situation are all in here in the one-on-one dashboard. And so if you're looking to achieve a transformation like I helped Ricardo and Rahul, and I've been able to achieve myself, I couldn't enter a bathroom with my head up. I'd be scared to see a mirror because I saw acne, and for the first time, I was able to look in the mirror with pure confidence, with this feeling of proudness, man, that I became a man of discipline, resilience. It's about the person you become in achieving those things. And so if you're ready to step into the best version of yourself and tap into that vision that you have in your head, turn it into reality, not just keep dreaming and keep falling into those vices which you know you should fix, but you just aren't fixing them for some reason, it's not working. If you're ready to make that change, then book a call in the description. I'll understand better your situation and help you understand what's stopping you. And if you're a good fit, we'll get to work together on fixing this and make sure you become the best version of yourself. See you in the next one, brother.